Hey, what's going on? Moment a lot of y'all been waiting for. Freeze's introduction to the game, man. Yes, indeed. We gonna talk about it. Since a lot of y'all ain't got work tomorrow, you know, with everything that's going on, I figure right now is a good time to talk about it, you know. Wow. A lot more of y'all than usual would be able to tune in at this time of night. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it, man. Freeze's introduction to the game. Y'all already know, man, how we do over here at the channel. Freeze is it. When you step into a pimp's domain, wipe your feet off at the door, man. What I mean by that is hit that thumbs up button for a pimp one time. You dig? Yeah, man. We gonna have us a good one tonight, man. And yeah, I'm gonna just wait for a good amount of y'all to get in the room, which I'm sure that ain't gonna take too long. We gonna get right to it. I see y'all. D Hub, what's up with it, man? End zone, I see you. Action Pack 901, what's up with it? Down South Player 214, tapping in from Dallas, I see. Ellenwood Slim, what's up with it, man? Andrew Taylor, I see you. OG Ken, what's up, man? Yeah, it's been a minute, but we back at it. Dark Magician. Yeah, man, I know a lot of y'all been waiting for this video, so I'm here, man. James Hudson, I see you. What's up with it, man? I see one of my snipers is on the roof. James Hudson is a sniper. Man, I can't believe I didn't make OG Ken a sniper. Khalil, I didn't make you a sniper neither. Damn, I'm tripping. What's up with y'all? Michael R., I appreciate your like. Devin Malik, what's up with it? Yeah, Ellenwood Slim, I'm tripping, man. I'm mad. I don't even know how I didn't make you. See that one time when I went live and I was making my mods, you must not have been here. But I don't know how to do it because I'm live on my phone right now, and I don't know how to do it on the phone. Like last time when I was making everybody mods, uh, I believe I was on my laptop, and I don't have a laptop with me right now, so I can't. Well, not that I can't do it. I don't know how to do it right now. But next time when I go live and I got the laptop with me, you most definitely will be made a mod. I see y'all, man. Brown skin Alice, I see you. Long time no see, Freeze. It's been so long since I've been on one of your lives. I appreciate you tapping in. Lance Payton, tapping in from that East Chicago. I see you, man. Carl Michael, what's up with it? John Doe, I see y'all. Hustlemania, Long Beach, what up? You already know. Like James Hudson say, 562 all day, you dig? Yeah, man, like Ken say, hope everything is good with everybody with this coronavirus stuff. Yeah, man, I I wish y'all the best, man, and best of blessings to everybody. You know, if you got elder, senior loved ones, you know, check on them, make sure they good. Yeah, it's 65 of y'all in here. 28 of y'all wiped your feet off. 29 wiped their feet off at the door. You know, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you came into a pimp's domain, please do so now, man. And I'm gonna wait for 10 more people to come in. When we get at 75, we gonna get to the story of Freeze's introduction to the game. And y'all already know how we get down over here, man. We put love in our body. Now I know all y'all motherfuckers, man, with this corona shit going on. I know some of y'all in here went to your local grocery store or you went to your local Walmart and you bought up all the damn water. I know somebody in this live got at least 10 gallons of water at their house right now. You know what I mean? If not more than that. You know what I mean? So go ahead and put some love in your life, man, because I know when I went to the Walmart over here where I'm at, I didn't see no love on the shelves. You know what I mean? I felt like Jay-Z. I'm like, where's the love? You know what I mean? But fortunately, I keep my love jug on me, you know, so I could just refill this one, you know, because it's a few water machines that I know a lot of people be overlooking, you know what I mean? Because they kind of in the cut. They ain't in the most common areas. So I just make sure when I'm in that area, I stop by like I did tonight because I had just finished my love for the day and I'm starting on a new bottle of love right now. So yeah, man. But go ahead and put some love in your body, man. And I don't want to hear nothing because I know all of y'all got some love right now in front of you, you know what I mean? With this coronavirus shit going on. Okay. It's 74. It was 75. Let me put some love in my body and we're gonna get to it. I see you, bitch. Had to speak to the hoe that was walking by. Okay, man, so we're gonna get started. All right, so Freeze's introduction to the game. Before we get started, I'm gonna remind y'all one more time, man. If you ain't wiped your feet off at a pimp's door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now, man. What I mean by that is hit that thumbs up button for a pimp one time. You did. Because it's 84 of y'all, 50 of y'all wiped your feet off at the door. You know, if you didn't wipe your feet off at the door, do so now. So my introduction to the game, right? Okay, so we're gonna start off where I left off when I spoke on my life before the game, right? Now, on the live that I did, my life before the game, I'm pretty sure that I spoke on everything up to my going to prison, right? So my introduction to the game takes place after I get out of prison, right? So I parole from Corcoran State Prison in California on November 1st, 2005. That's when I get out of prison, right? I did about 20 months between the county jail and Corcoran State Prison. LA County Jail and Corcoran State Prison. Altogether, I did about 20 months, right? So I get out November 1st, 2005. Now, you know, just like most cats, when they know they about to get out, they got like a little plan in their mind. So my plan, you know, to keep myself busy and keep myself out of trouble and keep a few dollars in my pocket, my plan was to sell my music, right? Because as a lot of y'all know, I rap. Back during those days, I was a lot more serious with the rapping. You know what I mean? So um, that's what I told myself. When I get out, I'm gonna put together a project and I'm gonna sell my music. 2005, as a lot of y'all know that's old enough to remember, back in them days, you know, everybody still had CD players. So I printed up my CDs and I hit the streets with my CDs, right? So um, before I went to prison, I had some songs already recorded. I can't remember exactly how many, but I probably had about 5 or 6 songs recorded, right? Before I went to prison. So when I got out of prison, I took the songs that I had already recorded and I made some new songs. I recorded some new music and I put it all together on a project. And the name of the project was Freeze Is It. That's how I come with the name Freeze Is It. You know what I mean? Because I was sitting there brainstorming, thinking about what I was gonna call the project. I've been Freeze forever, you know what I mean? I start, you know, the moniker Freeze hit me back in 97. You know what I mean? When I was 16 years old. I've been Freeze since then. So and I became Freeze through rapping. So yeah, so anyway, I put some more songs with the songs I already had recorded, and I put together the Freeze Is It project, right? Now, it was good for me because, like I said, I'm on parole at the time. Uh, I got 13 months parole to do if I stay clean, don't get no violations, right? California parole at that time, when you parole, the typical parole sentence is 3 years. So normally when you get out of prison at that time in California, they give you 3 years parole, and if you like low security parole, basically, if you don't have no violations within 13 months, really it's 12 months. I come to find out myself, but they say 13 months they discharge you. So that's what ended up happening. But to keep myself out of trouble, like I said, because I didn't want to go back to hustling, I didn't want to end up back in prison. So I wasn't gonna do that. So I printed up my CDs, and in California, when you're on parole, you're not required to have a job. Like some places, they require you to have a job. California parole, they don't require you to have a job, but it's good to have a job or some type of, non-illegal, some type of legitimate like hustle that'll keep the people off your back, right? And fortunately for me, my PO was cool as a motherfucker. He never came to the house throughout the 13 months, or really 12 months that I was on parole. He told me 2 different times that he was going to come to the house, and both of those times he never showed up. So he never sweated me. I went and did my little monthly check-ins, and everything was cool. And then when I let him know that I was pursuing my music, I gave him a copy of my CD. He was excited about it. He was encouraging me. He was supporting me in whatever way he could, so it was cool. I had everything straight with the PO, so I ain't have to worry about him, because a lot of cats, man, I got blessed. A lot of cats get them type of POs that be, looking for you to fuck up, so they can send you back to the pen and all that type of shit. Back then, when you violate, 9 times out of 10, they'll give you what we call the bullet back then, which is a year. You know what I mean? So a lot of them POs back at that time, they was trying to give you that bullet. But I got blessed. My PO didn't give me no problem. So boom. So I print up my CDs, right? And I go to Hollywood Boulevard. A lot of y'all done been to Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know about now because don't nobody listen to CDs no more. But if you went to Hollywood back 10 plus years ago, 15 years ago, you're going to see a lot of dudes on Hollywood Boulevard with their CDs. You know what I mean? I was one of them dudes, but I was a beast with that shit. When I was out there, wasn't nobody fucking with me. Not only did I have the best music, but I was the best salesman. I sold the most CDs, all that type of shit, right? I was killing them out there. But it didn't start out that way. You know what I mean? When I first went out there, I'll never forget my first day. I was out there all day. Like I said, I'm on parole, and that's what I forgot to mention. When you back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then when you parole, they give you what's called gate money. And your gate money is money that they give you when you get out of prison. And the gate money back then was $200. So when you get out of prison in California back then, they give you $200. So I get out with my $200, and I use that $200 to print my CDs up, right? So I ain't got no. Well, I did have transportation. I think I told y'all, or I probably showed y'all before. Before I went to prison, I had a clean ass glass house, right? 74 Impala. You know what I mean? Avocado green guts. I had 20-inch Dayton's on that motherfucker. I had beat in the back. I had 2 12-inch subwoofers in the back. I had 2 1/4-inch dual exhaust Flowmaster pipes on that motherfucker. My avocado green 74 glass house was the shit, and it was known all over LA County. When motherfuckers see that car, they knew it was Freeze, right? So I had that car when I went to prison, and when I went to prison, my pops maintained it for me. My pops kept the car for me, right? And when he would visit me in prison, he would tell me like, yeah, man, people keep offering me to buy your car, man. I drove it to the liquor store the other day, man, and somebody pulled up on me. They offered me $10,000. I told them I'll check with you. I didn't want to sell that motherfucking car. I love that car, you know what I mean? And $10,000 would have been a cool, price for it, but you could have offered me $100,000 at that time. I didn't give a fuck. I was in love with that car, so I didn't want to sell that motherfucker, right? But during the time I was in prison, it was a few motherfuckers that tried to steal my shit, right? So within them trying to steal my shit, they damaged it, right? Like, I want to say the keyhole to the driver's side was fucked up. You know what I mean? The steering column was fucked up. So that was the main thing. I couldn't drive it because they fucked up my steering column, right? So the only thing I would do was move it because I had to park it on the street. I didn't have like no garage to park it in or nothing like that. My dad kept it in the garage while I was locked up, but he had a 1-car garage. So when I got out of prison, I took my shit out the garage and let him put his, well, not let him, it's his garage, but I took my shit out of his garage so he could park his car in there, and I was parking my shit on the street. So the only thing I would do is move it back and forth across the street for street sweeping, right? But I couldn't drive it because I needed to fix the steering column, and I didn't have the money at the time to fix it. So needless to say, I wasn't mobile. So when I was going to Hollywood, I catch the Blue Line, which is the train from Long Beach to Hollywood, which is about an hour and some change ride, probably an hour, 15-minute ride on the train, right? So Blue Line to the Red Line, boom, I'm in Hollywood. So my first day that I went to Hollywood, you know what I mean? I'll never forget, I was out there all day, and I think I sold one CD for like $5, right? And I went home, I strategized, I analyzed how I was gonna be better. Went back the next day. I think the next day I sold like 5 CDs. You know what I mean? And after about a week of doing that shit, you know what I mean, I got better and better. After about a week, I got real good at that shit, man, and I was killing them, you know. I was making on average probably like $200 or $300 a day. On an excellent day, I make $600-700 a day selling my CDs. You know what I mean? So for a motherfucker, fresh out the pen, I was cool with that. But anyway, so I did that the whole time I was on parole. The whole time I was on parole, which was 12 months. Well, I thought it was 13 months. But at the end of 13 months, I went to go check in. They told me I was discharged. But really they had discharged me after 12 months, but I didn't know. I didn't find out till I went in after the 13th month, and they told me, they said, Mr. Willridge, you are no longer on parole. Please do not come back up here no more. I jumped in the air, clicked my heels. I said, y'all ain't gonna never see me again. And they haven't. You know what I mean? So I left up out of there. So now I'm off parole, right? So I get off parole. This the end of 2006 going into 2007, right? So February 2007 roll around, the NBA All-Star is in Vegas, right? So I ain't on parole. So I'm like, shit, I'm about to go to Vegas and do my thing. So I go to Vegas, and I go out there with my music, and I was killing them, you know what I mean? And it was NBA All-Star weekend. Mind you, I'm still a square at the time. The pimping in me is still in hibernation. I ain't woke up yet. So I'll never forget when I first get to Vegas, as soon as I hit the strip, you know what I mean? A bitch ended my night, you know what I mean? And anybody who familiar with Vegas back in them days, 07, man, it was so easy to get pussy. Pussy just getting thrown at you. You know what I mean? So I hit the strip. I'll never forget, I was by the Harley Davidson cafe, which for those of y'all who don't know, it ain't there no more, but at the time it was on Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard. And it was before they made the bridge that goes across. At this time, you just walk across the street. So I'm by the Harley Davidson waiting for the light to change, walking towards what was the Aladdin at the time. They changed it to Planet Hollywood, but at that time it was still the Aladdin. So I'm waiting right there. It's shoulder to shoulder people. You can't do nothing. It's NBA All-Star weekend. There's people all over this motherfucker like sardines. So a little white girl walked past, and she did something. Either she grabbed my ass or she grabbed my dick. She did something, right? Little cute ass white girl. You know what I mean? So uh she grabbed my ass and I caught it, but she was moving through the crowd. She was little. So she moving through the crowd. So I catch her and I grab her hand, right? So she held onto my hand all the way to her hotel, which was the Mirage, you know what I mean? So she stayed at the Mirage, you know what I mean? Needless to say, I go in there, you know what I mean? I tear it up. I have my little fun and everything like that. But so this is my first, this is what happens immediately when I get to Vegas, right? So now mind you, during the time I was on parole, this is what I forget to mention, right? During the time that I was on parole, uh, I had a partner who used to be in Hollywood with me. He used to sell his music too, right? And me and him got real cool. But the thing about him, he was what I call like a hip square. But you know, I wasn't really, I was a novice to the game at the time. I didn't really understand pimping and hoeing. So in my mind, you know, he's at least something like a pimp. But this partner of mine who used to be in Hollywood selling his music with me, you know, he would have hoes from time to time. And he's really the one that kind of like sparks he played a part in sparking the pimping in me. You know what I mean? Uh like I said, he would have hoes from time to time. He wasn't no dedicated pimp though. He was the type of motherfucker that was like, if he come across a hoe, he had just enough game to send her and break on her, right? So I never forget, we was by Disneyland because me and him used to go by Disneyland with our music too and sell our music across the street from Disneyland. It's an IHOP on Harbor Boulevard, which is the track in Orange County. We used to post up in front of the IHOP, and when people would come and go to Disneyland, we'll hit them with the music, right? So we'll see hoes, we on the track, you know what I mean? So every so often we'll see hoes passing through there. And this is the first hoe that tried to choose me, right? Little white girl named Lindsay. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with you, Lindsay, but I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? I ain't got no hatred or malice towards you. You know what I mean? Shout out to Lindsay. You know what I mean? That's the first hoe that really tried to choose me. But at the time, see, the thing about me, when I make up my mind to do something, I be zeroed in on that shit. So this little white girl, Lindsay, she'll see me out there with my music, and she was just like bold with it, you know what I mean? She was letting me know she was trying to be my hoe. But, you know, I ain't never had a hoe before. And, you know, I know I can make some decent money with this music. You know, I'm green and goofy as a motherfucker. So she like trying to choose me and shit. But I'm like, I'm on this music. You know what I mean? You want to buy my CD? Matter of fact, if I ain't mistaken, I think she did buy my CD. But anyway, my partner, my partner did was, like I said, with the music too, but he'll have a hoe here and there. He used to get at me like, man, you know, that bitch is a hoe. She trying to fuck with you, man. Like, you don't want that bitch? I'm like, man, I don't want no hoe, man. I got my music. I'm trying to do this, man. I ain't got time for no hoes. And he used to get at the bitch, you know what I mean? Like, he'll see her trying to get at me, and he be like, you know, what's up with me? Woo, woo, woo. But I'll fuck with you. But, you know, she didn't want to fuck with him. She was focused on me. But anyway, um, come to find out later on, she was from Vegas, and I ended up seeing her in Vegas later on. But I'll get to that later. So that was like my first encounter with a hoe trying to choose me, right? So fast forward, I'm in Vegas. NBA All-Star Weekend is when I first go there, right? 2007. Uh, you know, I'm up and down the strip all the time with my music. You know, it's hoes down every night, and hoes are seeing me. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm a square, but you know, at the same time, I'm a fly square. You know, I'm a sharp square. You know what I mean? I'm an intelligent, gamed up square at the same time. I just ain't gamed up when it comes to the pimping and hoeing because that's not what I'm into. But so you know, different hoes was tugging at me trying to fuck with me, you know, because they seeing me down every night and they seeing me with my music, so they gotta know I ain't no pimping. But see, at the time, this '07, man, like at this time, all kind of motherfuckers was getting chose. You know what I mean? The little motherfucking Mexicans that used to be out there with the flyers with the cards for the escort services and shit. I done seen bitches choose them motherfuckers. The weed man getting chose. You know what I mean? The coke man, he getting chose. Like the motherfucker that shine shoes in the bathroom, he getting chose. You know what I mean? Everybody getting chose in Vegas at this time. Hoes is just choosing any and everybody, right? So, you know, I'm one of them motherfuckers that really, at this time, a hoe ain't got no business trying to choose. But, you know, I'm a young, handsome pimp. I mean, I'm a young, handsome square at the time. I'm not the pimping yet. You know what I mean? Well, the pimping ain't woke up in me yet. I'm always been the pimping. But I don't know I'm the pimping yet. You know what I mean? So, bitches is trying to choose me, but I'm, you know, curving their ass. You know, I ain't gonna even lie. During this time, you know, I done fucked on a couple of hoes. You know what I mean? They using me to have their fun. You know what I mean? I'm a young handsome square. You know, hoes is taking advantage of my young handsome squareness. You know what I mean? And they Georgia in a young man. You know what I mean? They having their fun with me and shit. So this done happened to, like a few times. You know, with different prostitutes or whatever. So moving forward, right? This one night, I've been out all day with my music, right? Up and down the strip, moving CDs. Now, earlier that day, right, in the afternoon, it was what I believed was a couple, right? Now, at this point, I done been in Vegas for probably a month or two. So I done got kind of savvy on how to recognize a hoe when she down versus a square bitch or whatever. So, and plus I'm familiar with a lot of the hoes because I'll be down every night. So I'm seeing a lot of these hoes, right? So I see what I believe at the time is a couple. It's an older white man and it's a mixed girl. She like half black, half white, probably a few years older than me. But the white man that she with, he an older white dude, probably like 50 or so. And but she looks square as a motherfucker. You know, it's the daytime. So I approached them with my music. They bought my CD, right? So this was at like 3 in the afternoon. So fast forward to like 3 in the morning, I'm still out there with my music. I've been out there all day. I got like 8 or 9, no, probably not that many. I had like 5 CDs left, right? But that's how I used to be though. You know what I mean? If whatever CDs I go out there with, I stay down until I get rid of all of them, right? So I got like 5 CDs left, right? So I see the girl that was with the dude that bought my CD in the afternoon, right? I see her and she like, damn, you still out here? I said, yeah, you know, I got 5 CDs left. You know, I was trying to get rid of these CDs before I go in. You know, but I'm kind of tired. I might just say fuck it and take it in. And she's like, nigga, sleep when you die. You know what I mean? Come to find out, she was a Bay Area bitch. She from Oakland. She's like, nigga, sleep when you die. You know what I mean? You only got 5 CDs left. She's like, here, give them to me. So I gave her my CDs, and this bitch got rid of the motherfucker like that. She was colder at me selling the CDs. You know what I mean? If she would have hit that motherfucker, she probably could have went platinum. You know? But she was going platinum with the pussy, come to find out. So yeah, she get rid of them CDs in like probably like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like damn near everybody that went past, she convinced their ass to buy a CD. You know what I mean? So she get rid of the CDs for me and shit, give me the money. And this was in front of like the M&M store, Coca-Cola store area, like close to the MGM. This was right there, right? So she's staying at the Aladdin, which is about half a mile up the strip. So she like, yeah, I got a suite at the Aladdin, you know. So we walking and talking, you know what I mean? This is when I come to find out that she a hoe. She let me know that she's some hoeing. So we walking and talking. She talking about the game to me and all this old type of shit, right? So we stop at 7-Eleven. We get some little shit in there, and we continue on, and we go to the Aladdin, and she got like the motherfucking suite at the top floor at the Latin. And it was a bitch in there sleeping in the bed. She like, yeah, that's my hoe. She hoe for me and she give me the money. Woo woo woo. And she like, yeah, I got a nigga back home. Da 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 da. But he not my pimp. He my boyfriend. I don't know no better. So I'm thinking this is how the game go, or maybe how the game. I don't know. I don't know shit. But anyway, so I go to the bitch room with her. We sit there, chop it up. You know what I mean? I let her work me out my dick. You know what I mean? I fuck on the bitch. And after I fuck on the bitch, we laying there and shit. She like, why you ain't pimping? And I'm like, that ain't my thing. And she was just really pressing on me about pimping. Even before we made it to the room, like the whole walk up there to the room from the M&M store to her room, she was like, boy, you supposed to be pimping. She like, you a fly young nigga, you know what I mean? You smart, you know what I mean? You got charisma. She like, you supposed to be pimping, man. And the whole time I'm like, nah, that ain't my thing, man. I'm just a hustler. I ain't no pimp. So like I said, I go to the room, smash the bitch. We laying there, and she like really at me. She like, man, you supposed to be pimping, man. You supposed to be deep with white hoes. She's like, she is really pressing me about the white hoes. She's like, these white bitches out here supposed to be paying you. She's like, let me know. She's like, if you get you a few good white hoes, you know what I mean? This is Vegas, and it's easy for white bitches to get money. White bitch gonna get you $1,000 a night, easy. And if you have a few of them, that's a few $1,000s every night. You supposed to be pimping. These bitches out here supposed to be paying you. Woo, woo, woo. So she kind of like, that was kind of like the turning point. Like I said, I kind of was curious about the game already because my little partner that I be with the music, I done seen him with hoes and shit like that. And when we be out there with the music, he'll be getting at hoes and shit, like trying to have one and shit. So, he done already sparked my curiosity about the shit, right? So I kind of was like curious about the game already, but when I had that little experience with that that night, that got rid of the music for me and, was pressing me about being a pimp, hold on. Okay. I'm still with y'all. Somebody was just trying to call me. But anyway, so yeah, after that night, that kind of really like, now I'm interested in pimping. Now she, this bitch done sparked my interest about this pimping, right? So now when hoes try to get at me, I kind of got like a different outlook on the shit, So now I'm entertaining the thought of having a hoe fucking with me. You know what I mean? So now when hoes get at me, I'm getting back at them like, what's up? You know what I mean? Now, of course, I'm green as a motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck to say, what to do. None of that old type of shit, right? So, and then shortly after that experience with that bitch, around the same time, this is when I meet Sinful. You know what I mean? And, Sinful had to tell you his story as far as his introduction to the game. But we kind of was like at the same point, at the same time when we met, as far as, how deep into the game we was. We was pretty much at the same point, when we met each other. So we meet each other on the strip and we get real cool. You know what I mean? The more we see each other and chop it up, you know what I mean? We kind of like both. We figure out that we both at the same point with this pimping. So we kind of like, intensified the pimping in each other. So yeah, so I meet Sin and we get cool, but I'm still, cause I've been knowing my other partner with the music who be having a hoe here and there. I'm tighter with him because I've been knowing him longer. So me and Sinful cool, but we not like super tight how we ended up being shortly after that. So, my one partner with the music, we kind of like had a routine where, you know, we would be out there selling our music and shit, and then at a certain time in the night, we'll go in and change, put on like a suit or, you know, a button up and some slacks. You know what I mean? We'll get dressed and we'll be out there for the rest of the night campaigning, trying to have a hoe. So this is what was going on, right? And like I said, I get cool with Sinful. So me and Sinful fucking with each other now. And I'll never forget, this wasn't the first hoe that I had, you know what I mean, was a white girl. She was from I think New York. First hoe that I ever had was a white girl from New York. I can't remember her damn name. But I only had her for like a couple days, and I didn't get no real money from her. I got a little bit of change, but it wasn't no real money. You know what I mean? So that was my first hoe. She was crazy. She's the one that I learned the hard way about ecstasy. You know, I didn't really know how ecstasy affects people or how, you know, people can act a fool off of ecstasy. I just think ecstasy was just like a sex drug. You know, motherfuckers take it to, you know, feel good when they having sex. But I never seen nobody act a fool off of ecstasy until this bitch, you know. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. She like, you know, she want to do a pill. I'm like, go ahead. You know, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I don't know really too much about ecstasy, but she'll be cool when this bitch take a pill. She just turned into a monster. She'd be a totally different bitch, like disrespectful, like just a crazy ass bitch, right? But anyway, like I said, I only had her like a day or two, so that was like my first, you know, something like a hoe. My first experience with a hoe. So you know, I say probably like a few, like probably probably like 2 or 3 bitches later, um, I had this other bitch, right? Now I had moved this bitch. I'm like I said, I'm green as a motherfucker. You know, at this time, you know, me and Sinful, we kind of like just, you know, finding our way through the dark. We feeling our way through the game. We ain't got no mentors or no shit like that, right? And you know, we cool with a few motherfuckers that think they pimps, but really we don't really know no real pimps at this time. So, you know, I don't know what the fuck to do when I get a hoe. I think I know a little something, but I really don't know how the game go, right? So I moved this little bitch, right? And Sinful was with me when I had this bitch, right? Now I'm not understanding, but you know, this is the beauty of being down and being outside. You know, motherfuckers gonna roast you when you do the wrong shit, you know, and depending on how you take that shit, it's gonna let you know if this game is really for you or not, right? So I'm not understanding what I'm doing at the time, but I'm really harboring this bitch. You know what I mean? I ain't got no money from this hoe. She talking about she want to fuck with me, but you know, as I look back in retrospect, the bitch was really just using me to like take a break and hide from her folks. OG Lucifer Moon says, "What's your Cash App?" My Cash App is Freezes It, just like you see on the YouTube channel. FREEZEIZIT. Yeah, so Cash App Freezes It. But yeah, like I say, so this bitch really just using me to hide from her folks, right? I'm not knowing no better. I'm thinking the bitch really want to fuck with me, right? So, um, I done heard that when you get somebody's hoe, when you knock a hoe, you supposed to serve the last dude that she was fucking with, right? So this bitch, she know more than me at the time. You know what I mean? I'm green as a motherfucker. I don't know shit. But she know more than me. So she like, yeah, you know, now that I'm fucking with you, you gotta call my ex folks and serve him his papers. I'm like, serve him his papers. She like, yeah, you gotta give him the phone call, you gotta give him the news. You know what I mean? She a Bay Area bitch, you know what I mean? Well, Northern Cali. I don't know if she was from the Bay. I can't remember. But I do remember that much. She was from Northern Cali. The dude she was fucking with, he was from Northern Cali too. You know what I mean? So they way faster and sharper in the game than I am at the time. You know what I mean? So She tell me this. I'm like, all right, cool. Give me his number. So and Simple was sitting right there. Simple remember this shit uh just as well as I do, right? So I had a spot at the Harbor Islands, which for those of y'all not familiar, Harbor Islands is a weekly apartment at in Vegas, like half a mile from the strip. So we had my joint at the Harbor Islands, and I'm calling, dude to serve him his papers. So I call him. He like, yeah, what's up, man? He a amped up, Northern Cali nigga. He like, yeah, what's up with it, man? And I'm like, yeah, man, this Freeze the Pimp on your line, man. Call to let you know that I got that hoe. I can't remember this bitch name either, but I'm like, yeah, man, call to let you know I got this hoe, man. She over here fucking with me now, you know. And he was cool, at first he like, oh, okay, man, that's what's up, Pippin, you know what I mean? Congratulations to you, man. But if you don't mind me asking though, man, how much money that bitch give you, man? And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, call myself popping it. I'm like, yeah, man, the bitch, she ain't gave me no money right now, man, but she about to get down and go get to it for a pimp, you know what I mean? Woo, woo. And he like, oh man, is you call yourself dry serving the pimp P? Man, what is you doing, pimp? Man, you can't call me and serve me, and you ain't got no money from the bitch, man. He like, this ain't like the Mac, man, where the bitch just walk up to you and say she want to fuck with you and y'all just ride off in the sunset, man. This ain't like the movies, pimp. That bitch got to give you some money, man. Now that the hoe over there playing with you and call herself trying to play with me, man, I see that hoe down, man. I got every right to bust that bitch head to the fat meat, pimp. Yeah, man, when I see that hoe down, I'm going to cut her head, man. But yeah, man, you can't serve no pimp, man. You ain't got no motherfucking money, man. You tripping. So, like I said, I don't understand the game at this time. So that was a lesson learned. You know what I mean? But he roasted the shit out of me for that, you know what I mean? And I appreciated it, at the time. And, moving along in the game, I appreciated it more and more as time progressed. But yeah, man, so so that happened. And then moving forward, now the first hoe to really fuck with me and really give me some money was a little slim chocolate bitch from Denver, Colorado, and her name was Shay. Now I had been seeing Shay down and around. She was cool with this other bitch named Juliet. I can't remember where Juliet was from, but Juliet was like a little brown skinned bitch with glasses. Both of them was cute, you know what I mean? But I used to see them down, and I used to try to have Shay. And matter of fact, when I first seen them, I was with Sinful. We both was trying to have both of these bitches, you know what I mean? But when we first met them bitches, like, it didn't go nowhere, right? And then probably some weeks or a month or later on down the line, I seen Shay again. She was trying to fuck with me, but she was like, yeah, I really want to fuck with you, but I'm fucking with this dude right now, and he got my daughter, because she had a little baby daughter at the time. And she like, he telling me that, if I try to leave him, he gonna take my daughter, and, he got all my information, so he gonna hurt my family, and this, the bitch telling me all of this. So I'm like, damn, all right, what, so she don't want to make a move. So then I see her later on down the line, and I never forget, we was walking past where the city center, I think it is, where Aria and all them shops is, the city center. We was right back then, they was doing construction, so it was just like a field. But we was walking past there, and we was walking towards each other. We ran into each other right there, and she was letting me know she wanted to fuck with me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So like I said, I'm staying at the Harbor Islands at the time. So she walked me to the Harbor Islands, and she freshened up, get herself together. And I'll never forget, I told y'all a little bit about the story on a different live, but I set her down right there on Harmon, because back then Harmon was the track. You could set a bitch down on Harmon and she could walk right there and catch dates. It could still be the track, but just don't nobody fuck with it no more. But back then, you you'll ride down Harmon and see some hoes. So, and Harbor Islands is right there on on Harmon. So we step outside the Harbor Islands, and I, give her instructions. I say, yeah, that's Koval right there. Walk to Koval. You know what I mean? You could do this. You could really do this circle. You know what I mean? Walk to Koval. You could walk from Koval and Harmon up to Koval and Flamingo, down to Paradise, and then back down to Harmon. Just play this area right here. So she like, all right, cool. And I'll never forget. I watched her walk from where the Harbor Islands is, which Harbor Islands is like halfway between Koval and Paradise on Harmon. She walking towards Koval. She don't even make it to Koval. Somebody in the H2 pull up, and she hop in the H2 with him, and she ended up getting I think it was $350 from that individual. And I told y'all before, you know, this is where I learned a lesson too, because I'm like, charge this much for this much for that, so on and so forth, right? I'm giving her specific amounts to get for this, that, and the third, right? So she followed my instructions a little too well. OG Ken, he know what I'm saying, Jermaine O'Neal. You know what I mean? So I put it together myself that she was fucking with Jermaine O'Neal. You know what I mean? That's who pulled up in the H2 and scooped her up, right? So after it's over with, she come meet me back at the Harbor Islands, and she telling me what happened. She like, yeah, the guy who I got in that Hummer with, he was an NBA basketball player. And at this time, the Summer League was going on in Vegas. And y'all know the Summer League out there, all the NBA players come out there and they do their thing. So I remember earlier that night, I had seen Jermaine O'Neal at the CVS, which is like right down the street on Paradise and Harmon. I seen him at the CVS right there. So yeah, she let me know. She described him. She was like, yeah, he's a tall, dark-skinned dude. He like 7 feet tall. He had cornrows. Woo, woo, woo. So in my mind, I'm like, oh man, this bitch was over there with Jermaine O'Neal. Damn. And she telling me like all this shit that he got, you know what I mean? And all this money that he got and this, that, and the third. And you know what I mean? But all the bitch asked for via my instructions was $350. So that's what he gave the bitch. You know what I mean? She didn't have enough game. Definitely she didn't. And even I didn't have enough game to let the bitch know, like, okay, bitch, this is how you play this situation to get the most that you can out of this situation. I'm super green at the time. But I say all that to say, that was the first hoe that really fucked with me and really, really gave me some hoeing. You know what I mean? So I had Shay probably for like a few weeks or something. You know what I mean? And mind you, my Ace Boon Coon, my homie from Long Beach, he was staying with me at the Harbor Islands, right? Like after Shay left. He had met Shay before he started staying with me. But when Shay was gone, my partner had moved in, right? Hold on. Jigga 1017 say, JL tricked off on my little homeboy's girl in Detroit and she left him. He paid me to get her sale records. That's how we found out. Dig that. Small world, small game. So yeah, he got a history of this shit in this game. Yeah, but yeah, the little bitch, it was funny, right? Like I say, these is all like little lessons that I done had in the game, right? Now, me and Sin, we had a partner that we was cool with, and he was an influence on us too early in the game. Our partner, YT, Young Twiz, rest in peace. He done passed away now. But YT, he was in our same age group, but he was from Vegas and he had been in the game longer than us. So at the time, he got a little more game than me and Sinful, you know what I mean? Well, I'll say experience. He got more experience. So because he got more experience, he knows some things that we don't know, right? So it was funny. Like I said, my partner who was staying with me from Long Beach, he is square, you know what I mean? And he out there with the music shit, you know, selling his music. So so you know, I was selling my music too, but once I got my first little taste of a real hoe, which was Shay, once Shay came and chose me, you know what I mean, I was done with the music shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, man, I'm full-fledged pimping, man. I ain't even thinking about that shit no more. So but my partner, he's still selling his music and shit, right? So he's staying with me. And like I said, Shay know him. And oh, I didn't even tell y'all how me and Shay ended, right? Uh Go Young DJ said, how did YT die? YT died because he died like I think I think YT been gone for a good like 3 years or something like that, maybe 4 years. But no, YT damn. I want to say he had kidney problems. I forget what type. He had some type of pre-existing health condition, but basically his kidneys failed on him. That's how he died. You know what I mean? And YT, he had to been in his early 30s at the time, because if YT was still living right now, he would be 35. No, no, YT would be about like 36 right now if he was still living. So he passed away in his early 30s. So but yeah, so like I said, how me and Shay ended, right? Um, she wanted to do something. She had, you know, gave me some money, and she was like trying to, you know, instruct me on how to do something with this money or whatever. Basically, she was making a big deal out the money, like, oh, I'm giving you this money, woo, woo, woo. And see, this is why I say, like, the pimping, right? People say, you know, you born a pimp or whatever the case may be. I don't believe that, but I do believe that the pimping is born with certain gifts, you know, that can be suitable for a number of things, but they just real suitable for this game. You know, if you decide to go the path of the pimping, you know, these gifts that you've been blessed with, you know, they gonna make you real good with this pimping, right? So I just had certain things in me naturally already all my life. So when Shay had got at me like this on some like she was basically trying to dictate what I should do with the money, because she was down hoeing and this, that, and the third. And mind you, I only got some months in the game at this time, you know, just barely, you know, getting my feet wet. But the bitch get at me like that, and I'm like, bitch, do you know who I am? Like, bitch, I'm Freeze the Pimp. You know, I went big on the bitch. I'm like, shit, bitch, I don't need you, and I don't need this motherfucking money, bitch. And I'm trying to remember, man. I want to say it was like $800 or something like that I threw at the bitch. You know what I mean? I'm like, bitch, this money don't make me, bitch. I'm some pimping. Like, I'll go get another bitch and some more money, bitch. Like, here, take this shit, bitch. I don't need this motherfucking shit. Bitch, get out my face. You know? And that's how me and Shay ended, right? But because I handled it like that, she always had a desire to fuck with me, and respected my pimping after that, right? So because she couldn't fuck with me, like a lot of hoes do, they try to go fuck with the motherfucker closest to you. But yeah, so the bitch went and tried to, you know, call herself fucking with my homeboy from Long Beach with the music, right? Who was staying with me at the time. So I'll never forget. Uh uh I'm trying to remember, man. Was it Sinful? I can't remember if it was me, YT, and Sinful. But basically, right, I come back to the joint, and damn. I come back to the little weekly at the Harbor Islands, right? And the Shay bitch, she in there making spaghetti for my partner. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm a pimp, so I ain't even phased by that shit. Like, I ain't looking at her like, bitch, was you? You know, I wasn't even tripping. Like, um, you know, she in there making spaghetti for my partner. So my nigga YT see this shit, and YT like, man, that's a motherfucking hoe, man. Like, how this nigga gonna let this bitch in your crib? This is a pimp's house, man. Like, this bitch can't be in a pimp's house making spaghetti for a nigga, and she ain't trying to pay nobody, man. Look, man, if that hoe ain't trying to pay your partner, man, and trying to pay a pimp, hold on. Yeah, he like, man, bitch is this bitch is a hoe, man, and she in here making spaghetti for square niggas and shit, man. Man, that hoe need to be paying some pimping, man. She can't be in no motherfucking pimp's house making spaghetti for a square, man. What the fuck is wrong with this shit, man? This bitch can't be doing that, man. Freeze, man, you gotta check that shit. You know what I mean? So that was another lesson that I learned. That was another lesson that I learned, man. As far as, just letting a hoe come into your house any kind of way. You know what I mean? Even if she trying to fuck with somebody else that might be staying in your house, she need to either be paying that motherfucker trying to choose some pimping, or she need to get the fuck on. So yeah, needless to say, I had checked that shit right. But it was funny. Another little story with my partner, right? Now this is my bro, I love him to death. We still cool to this day. But he wasn't no pimping, right? But like I said, at this time in Vegas, hoes is choosing everybody. They're giving any and everybody some action around there. All you got to do is be outside enough in Vegas, and you're going to get some action. Whether you some pimping, whether you a square, whether you a hustler, a gangbang, whatever the fuck you own, if you spend enough time outside in Vegas during these days, 2007, a hoe you gonna get some type of action from a hoe. So, it was another situation where this same partner of mine, who my ex bitch had made spaghetti for in my house, he get action at this other little bitch, right? Pretty ass little brown skinned bitch, fine as a motherfucker, right? She called herself Diamond, right? Now, he let me know that this bitch want to fuck with him and shit, right? So I'm like, cool. So, he not no pimping, so he going about things all wrong, but I'm trying to help him out. I'm helping him take the bitch to the track. He's setting her down on Boulder Highway and shit. You know what I mean? But the bitch is really digging on me and Sinful, right? Because me and Sinful around all the time. She really digging on the both of us. But, she trying to fuck with my partner, so I'm letting it go. And I'll never forget. One night I was getting ready, right? I'm white suited and booted. Hold on. But yeah, I'm white suited and booted, you know what I mean? I got the white motherfucking 3-piece suit on, you know what I mean? And the bitch see me in the mirror, you know what I mean? I'm getting my waves together, you know what I mean? My waves is dipping, I'm fresh faded. I always been my own barber, you know what I mean? So my haircut is always on point. I got my waves dipping. I got the white suit on, and she see me in the mirror, you know what I mean? Get myself together and shit. And the bitch was like, damn, you look so good. you should come home with 5 hoes tonight. You know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, she called herself trying to fuck with my partner at the time, man. And, you know, so I was sparing this bitch, you know, but that was an indication right there, her letting me know that she really wanted to fuck with me. But like I said, I'm green at the time, and at the same time, I do have integrity. But there's a way to have integrity and handle the situation like a pimp at the time, but at the time I don't know. You know, so I'm not trying to have this bitch because she called herself fucking with my partner. But see, this is a hoe, and she fucking with my partner that's a square. You know, he trying to hold on. He trying to put on a pimp hat and play the role of a pimp for this bitch. But that's not even really what he's about. That's not really want to do. You know what I mean? He just thinking of it at, like, you know, he can get a few extra dollars. Excuse me, get a few extra dollars out the situation. So now the me now in this situation, like say I got one of my square partners staying with me and he got a hoe that's trying to fuck with him, you know, the hoe gonna end up fucking with some pimping, you know. But like I said, it's still gonna be handled with integrity. It ain't gonna be no conniving shit going on or anything like that, you know. But I'm not finna just let this hoe fuck with this square, you know, even if it's my partner who I consider to be a brother or anything like this hoe just ain't finna fuck with no square. But at the time, you know, I was letting this shit go on, man. And you know, yeah, man, it was just some good days, man. You know, back in this '07, man. You know, Sinful ended up having his first like Sinful story was kind of similar to mine. Like I said, I'm gonna let Sinful tell y'all his story when he decides to do so. But you know, to give y'all, you know, bits and pieces of his beginnings, you know, we kind of start out the same way. You know, around the same time I got my first hoe that really fucked with me. Sinful situation was similar. Like he had little bitches here and there, but you know, his first hoe to really fuck with him came around the same time. You know, and these experiences really shaped and molded us in the pimping, you know, and you know, by doing this, you know, being down and around, having hoes down, naturally we start meeting pimping and getting cool with pimping. And as Ken, I believe it was, said in the comments, you know, Sinful meet nice around this time, you know, and just like I was telling y'all, I had my square partner with the music that kind of like sparked my interest in the game. Nice kind of sparked Sinful up in the game and had an influence on him early on in the game. So yeah, but yeah, you know, we having our first hoes early on. Now, like I say, Shay was the first hoe that really like tried to fuck with me. But the first like real experience I had with a hoe, like really fuck with me and give me somewhat of a run and really like kind of like, you know, help my pimping grow a lot more, was a little bitch named Jasmine. You know, yeah, matter of fact, I told y'all a little bit about her as far as my first hoes in the game. You know, I think I came up with a nickname for her in that video. One of y'all might remember what my nickname for the bitch was. But this is a little crazy ass, bipolar ass bitch from Milwaukee that I had, man. And you know, it was cool how I knocked the bitch, man. It was, you know, cause at this time, you know, I done had a hoe or two, you know, I done been around some pimping, and me and Sinful is real tight, and we both keeping each other sharp. So by the time I get to Jasmine, you know, I'm a little sharper than I was to begin with. And yeah, so I see Jasmine down, right? And I had sweated her, I think, a time or two before this, but this is an example of how in the game we say, you know, persistence beats resistance. Meaning, you know, if you stay down and stay persistent at trying to have a bitch, it beats resisting the bitch, because sometimes you can knock a bitch, resisting the bitch too, you know what I mean, and not showing too much interest in the bitch. I've knocked hoes like that too. But in this was a case of persistence beats resistance, because I stayed at this bitch. And a lot of times us as pimps, when we grow older and more seasoned in the game, we have a tendency to get more relaxed and not be as persistent, and to be honest, not even be as on fire as we once was with this pimping, early on. But I'm a young pimp on fire at the time about this shit. So when I see Jasmine, it was by the Walgreens on the strip, right? I'll start sweating her from there. And matter of fact, yeah, she had a homegirl that was with her too. I want to. Nah, I don't think they was wifeys. I don't think they was part of the same household, but I think they folks was cool with each other or some shit, and that's how they was cool. But anyway, when I first seen her was by that Walgreens, and I was sweating her, and Sinful was sweating her whole partner, and they both was loose as a motherfucker, and they both was green as a motherfucker. Cause come to find out, uh, at least the bitch that I ended up having, Jasmine, she didn't even have 30 days in the game yet. Her folks had just turned her out, so she a fresh turnout. And the other bitch, she was kind of green too. But anyway, both of them bitches was loose, and the friend, she wanted to fuck with Sinful too, but for whatever reason, they didn't end up fucking with each other. But I see Jasmine again by this Walgreens, and I sweat the bitch from Walgreens all the way to the motherfucking Bally's, to the escalator that goes from Bally's to, at the time, was the Barbary Coast. It's the Cromwell now, but at the time it was the Barbary Coast. So I'm at the bitch from there to there, right? Now, mind you, before, when I seen the bitch the first time, she had her heels on, she was holed up, she was looking good, you know what I mean? And when I'm sweating her from the Walgreens, when I start sweating her right there, when I see her, she got her shoes in her hands, so she out there walking barefooted. The bitch looking sad than a motherfucker. She got a cigarette in her hand, smoking a cigarette, and see, a lot of y'all that might be watching this video right now or might see this video later on, y'all familiar with the Vegas where everybody got on flip-flops. All the supposed to be hoes got on tennis shoes, Jordans and jeans and flip-flops and shit like that. But at this time in the game, all the hoes had on stilettos or high heels, some type of heels on their shoes. It wasn't no such thing at this time as a bitch wearing flip-flops. It wasn't no such thing at the time as a bitch wearing Jordans. Like, a bitch would get roasted to death wearing some shit like that on the strip at these times. But times done changed. Bitches be wearing sandals. It's like a regular thing. It's more unusual now to see a bitch wearing heels on the strip. That's more unusual now than it is to see a bitch wearing flats on the strip. But back at this time, it was unusual. All the bitches had on heels. This bitch had heels, but she, which was another no black eye in the game, to be walking down the strip barefoot. But this bitch walking down the strip, she got her heels in her hand, she barefoot and shit, and she got a cigarette in her hand too. So I get on the bitch heels. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, you know what I mean? I see you walking with your shoes in your hand, and you looking down, bitch, and you walking with the cigarette in your hand too. You must be going through something, because I know you know better than that. You might be in a situation that you unhappy in, and if you give me action, I might be able to spark you up to where you don't ever feel like you want to do this type of shit again, yada yada yada. So I'm popping it at the bitch the whole time. And initially she kind of like called herself trying to get away or whatever, but she just like broke it down. And it got to a point where she called herself like trying to stay in pocket, but she was walking at the same pace as me, but on the side of me, slow as a motherfucker. And she listening to everything I say. She ain't made eye contact with me, and she hasn't spoke back at this time, but I stay on her all the way to the Bally's escalator, going towards the Barbary Coast. And when we get to the top of the escalator on the Bally side, that's when she finally broke down and said something to me. I can't even remember what she said to me, but that's when we start having a conversation. And she let me know that she wanted to fuck with me and everything, right? So she didn't have no money at the time. So we parted ways or whatever, but she had my phone number. So the next time I hear from her, she's out there by her folks' crib, right? She at this gas station deep in North Vegas, like damn near to the Air Force Base out there, right? Damn near to Nellis Air Force Base. She way the fuck north, right? And she called me and she like, yeah, my folks just fired me. He just dropped me off at this gas station. He said he don't want to fuck with me no more, and I'm over here at this gas station with all my stuff. So she tell me where the gas station was, and I pull up on the bitch, put all her shit in the car, and that's how I end up having the bitch. So come to find out, man, this bitch was crazy as a motherfucker. This bitch she was a cute little bitch, you know what I mean? But this bitch was crazy as a motherfucker, man. I'm talking about put a pimp through it. Like, I'll never forget one of the first problems I had with this bitch, right? And like I said, she only got less than 30 days in the game. You know what I mean? And on top of that, she a Milwaukee bitch. And I ain't gonna say all of them because I haven't met every Milwaukee bitch, but it's typical for a Milwaukee bitch to be crazy. It's typical for a Milwaukee bitch to be not to be trusted. The Milwaukee bitches, they a piece of work. They a handful and a half. They a couple handfuls and a half. You gonna have your work cut out if you pimping on a Milwaukee bitch 9 times out of 10. And I appreciate this Milwaukee bitch, you know what I mean? Because like I say, she really sharpened my pimping a whole lot. Having this little crazy ass bitch from Milwaukee, right? But like I say, one of the first problems I had with this bitch, she was down on the track and, she socializing with this bitch. And, she get cool with this bitch. And this bitch like, yeah, you should come home with me. It's just me and my whole partners over there. Woo, woo, woo. And this green goofy ass bitch, she like, that's cool. Yeah, I'll go with you. And she like, yeah, we can smoke some weed too. And woo, woo, woo. So she go to this bitch house, and this shit happens all the time in Vegas. It happened a whole lot back then. But she go to this bitch house, and as I'm sure a lot of y'all can guess, it's some pimping there. So if I remember correctly, I don't think the bitch got broke on. I don't think she had no money on her when she went over there. But yeah, the bitch go over there, you know what I mean? And it's some pimping at the house. He trying to have a bitch or whatever. So this bitch come tell me all of this shit. And I'm trying to correct the bitch about the shit. And with her little bipolar crazy Milwaukee ass, you know what I mean, she getting disrespectful. So yeah, that was like, I don't even think I had the bitch for a week at that time. I ended up having the bitch for a few months. Probably like maybe like 4 or 5 months, something like that. But at this time, I hadn't even had the bitch for a week. And, I ended up, taking the bitch to the barbershop. I ended up cutting that bitch head, For those of y'all, y'all get my drift, man. I gave the bitch some physical therapy. You know what I mean? Some correction. So, and mind you, this is a totally different freeze at the time. This ain't the freeze that work out. This freeze is not working out. This freeze is drinking alcohol. This freeze ain't smoking weed, but this freeze is drinking alcohol on the regular. And this is Las Vegas, where alcohol is just, all in your face, so yeah, I probably had some drinks in my system when I cut the bitch head at the time, so but yeah, that happened. And then like I said, um around the same time, uh Sinful had knocked the bitch who ended up fucking with him real tough. So me and Sinful being real tight, them bitches had got cool with each other because we always together. So them bitches was always together, and this was like our first days, even though I'm from California, you know, obviously as y'all done put together, I checked my first whole dollar in Vegas. So but when we got these bitches, you know, we start making trips to California and playing them blades out there in California, and I believe Sinful done told y'all some of his stories about Fig, but this is how Sinful get, introduced to Fig and get real cool with fucking with Fig, because, even though I'm green and I don't know really nothing about the game, especially I ain't never played no tracks in California. When we took these bitches to Cali, these is the first hoes that both of us sat down on the track in California, but by me being from California, even though I wasn't no pimping earlier on, like I'm familiar with the blades because that's where I'm from, so I was familiar with Beach Boulevard, I was familiar with Harbor, I'm familiar with Long Beach Boulevard, I'm familiar with Figueroa. Like, you don't have to be involved in the game. Like, if you from LA, Figueroa is the track, so I was already hip to Fig, but I just never had no desire to fuck with Fig back then, so I always told Sin, like, yeah, man, you don't want to fuck with Fig, man. It's too many problems, them gangbangers, them Hoovers and them Denver Lanes, they be over there kidnapping hoes and yada, 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 which is true. But, by Sin, being in California, he started getting cool with different P's of it on his own. And he started making his own trips out there to LA. And, that's how he get introduced to Fig. When he got introduced to Fig, he fell in love with Fig, you know what I mean? But I ain't gonna get into no details because, like I said, I'm gonna let him tell y'all that story. But I know he has mentioned to y'all his early days in Fig. But yeah, we's making trips, out there to California, and I appreciate them days, early on, because them days really helped shape and mold my pimping. When you see, I try not to be biased, and I try not to say like one way is necessarily better than another. But I will say that when you pimping outside, your pimping is gonna grow and move a whole lot faster than somebody who started on the internet, or all they know is posting ads for a bitch and this, that, and the third. Like, when you pimping outside, especially on them tracks, and them California tracks, when you on them California tracks setting hoes down, and your bitch is getting sweated by seasoned pimps, and your bitch is having encounters with pimps, and you sweating hoes and knocking hoes. Basically, when you down on them Cali blades every day pimping, your pimping is gonna grow a whole lot faster than other motherfuckers. And it's gonna grow in different ways. I'll say that for sure. It's gonna grow in, your pimping is gonna be more advanced in different ways than certain P's in other areas. Just like P's in other areas, like a pimp who might get turned on, or his pimping might get woke up in Miami, and his early days is in Miami. He gonna learn some shit, and his pimping gonna grow in different ways than some pimping in California. But yeah, man, when you gonna learn a lot, and you gonna grow fast in the motherfucker pimping on them California blades early in the game. So I really appreciate them early days in Cali. You know what I mean? I know it was a blessing to Sinful and myself. You know, we grew fast than a motherfucker, man. I never forget, you know, I was just, like I said, certain things was already in me before I come into the game. And, you know, by me having the type of father that I had growing up, you know, my pops was a stern individual. He's like an overtly masculine individual. And, you know, he's a very highly self-disciplined individual. And, you know, he stands on his shit. Whatever he believe in, he really stand on it. So naturally, I was that same way coming into the game because this is what I knew from my pops, right? So, you know, as the pimping, whatever you say, you supposed to stand on it. So that part of the game wasn't hard for me to pick up because I already was like that. You know, and other cats, you know, some cats have a problem with that. They don't really stand on what they say to a bitch. Like they might tell a bitch, yeah, bitch, this is what it is. You know what I mean? But depending on what the circumstance is, the circumstance might make them weak, and it'll make them weak to a point where they go back on what they say. They renege on their word. You know, so me, I didn't have them problems. You know, early from the earliest days in the game. You know, so I never forget, you know, some crazy little shit that I did. You know, I just thought it was the most pimping shit, right? Uh, the little bitch that I had, the Jasmine bitch from Milwaukee, you know, I had her down on Beach Boulevard, right? And we had a room right there. It used to be called the Crescent Inn, right? It's on Crescent, I think it's called Crescent Avenue, not street. But it's on Crescent and Beach Boulevard. It's a Walgreens across the street, and the hotel used to be called the Crescent Inn. Last I knew, it was called the Best Host Inn. They changed the name to the Best Host Inn. I don't know if the name has changed since then, but some years ago they changed it to the Best Host Inn, right? So, me and the bitch got a room at the Best Host Inn. I mean, at the time it was the Crescent Inn. We got a room at the Crescent Inn, and the rooms there used to be cool as a motherfucker because you get a big ass room. You know, they was some clean rooms. They was, you know, they wasn't the most luxurious rooms, but they was decent, and they used to only be like, I think like $29 a night or some shit like that. I know for sure they not that cheap now, but back then you get a room for like less than $30, right? So we staying there, and this bitch, you know, she used to get on. She used to get at me real crazy. You know what I mean? Call herself trying to get on me. You know, and she was being real disrespectful one night. Like, yeah, I'm down every night, and I'm out here, and woo, 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 I'm going hard, and you know, you just sit back and lay up, and da da da. And I'm like, bitch, I'm pimping. You know, I'm working just like you working, bitch. We might not be working the same way, you know what I mean, in the same capacity, but bitch, I'm down just like you down. I'm trying to like you out here trying to have a trick, bitch. I'm out here trying to have a hoe, you know. So you know, bitch, you can miss me with all that shit, bitch. I understand you down and everything, bitch, but don't think that you the reason why we having what we having going on. Like she was just like basically getting at me, like trying to undermine my pimping, like, you know, trying to devalue my pimping, and I wasn't going for that. So you know, the little argument kind of escalated and everything, and I say, you know what, bitch, you know, you really supposed to be having a pimp living way better than the pimp is living right now, bitch. You know what I mean? We in this motherfucking motel, bitch. I got this motherfucking Toyota. What was I driving? A Toyota Corolla at the time. Like, bitch, you got a pimp in this motherfucking Toyota Corolla. You know what I mean? That I got from another bitch, not from you, which was true. You know, bitch, we stay in this motherfucking motel, bitch. Like, you know, do some real hoeing and hoe up for some real shit before you get to talking shit, bitch. And I'm like, shit, matter of fact, bitch, you know what, bitch? You know, since you like having a pimp, you know, living bad and everything, bitch, you know, I'm out here outside just like you outside, bitch. You know, ain't neither one of us going in that motherfucking motel room, bitch, until you check 1,000. Cause at the time, the bitch hadn't given me more than $1,000 in one night. I think her best night at the time was like $700 and something, right? So I'm like, yeah, bitch, just know that your folks is outside with nowhere to go, bitch, just like you is, bitch. We ain't got no motherfucking room no more, bitch. We out here. Bitch, so just know that your folks is out here, you know what I mean, with nowhere to go, cold and hungry, just like you, bitch. You know, since you want to talk all this old shit like you doing something major, bitch. Yeah, now our situation is fucked up, bitch. We ain't got no motherfucking room, bitch. So a pimp is outside. And I'm not going in that room, and you not going in that room, bitch, until you make $1,000 tonight. So, you know, it was kind of cool because it kind of like sparked the bitch up in a certain type of way. And because she felt bad that I was outside and, you know, the little lugs that I shot at her as far as the car that I was driving and the fact that we was living in this motel, you know, I shot the right lugs at the bitch, you know, so, you know, the bitch stayed down and I stayed to my word. You know, I stayed outside just like she was outside. And man, I'm on the phone with Sin telling him. And matter of fact, I can't remember. Nice might have even been on the phone with us too. Cause I never met Nice face to face, but we talked on the phone a few times, you know what I mean? So but yeah, I'm telling Sin on the phone, like, yeah, man, this bitch talking this shit, man. You know, I'm outside with the bitch just like she is, you know what I mean? I'm out here too, man. The bitch know her folks is out here fucked up, you know? So I'm telling Sin all this shit, you know, and I'm just outside, you know, just like she is. I'm just outside on the blade, you know what I mean? And on this night, it wasn't really no hoes out there. Cause, you know, Beach Boulevard, it has this I'll say Beach Boulevard kind of got its eras. You know, like it might be a year or two where Beach Boulevard ain't popping. You know, then somebody will come wake that motherfucker up and Beach Boulevard will be on full. You ride Beach Boulevard, you might see 20 or 30 hoes out there. Then, you know, it might come another period where another year or two where Beach is dead. But at this time, Beach Boulevard wasn't like the most poppin'est blade. You'll see some hoes out there, but you never would see a lot of hoes at this time. And on this particular night, she was the only bitch down. You know what I mean? Right. Like James Hudson say, beach and ball. You know, we was playing that area, you know what I mean? So, you know, I really didn't have no hoes to sweat on this particular night. It wasn't really no hoes down. Oh, you know what? But anyway, before I get to that, I'm going to finish this part of the story, right? So, man, we must have stayed down like 12 or 15 hours or something like that, man. We was down all motherfucking day and night. And you know, I ended up having to pay for the room again. So that's why we ended up taking it in. But she didn't get to a G, but she made it to like 960 or some shit like that. And at that time, that was the most that she had ever made. And that taught me a lesson, you know what I mean? Great things come to those who stay down. You know what I mean? So from that moment on, you know, I was a firm believer in keeping the bitch down. You know what I mean? On that motherfucking blade. You keep a bitch down on that motherfucking blade and you pimp on the bitch while she down on the blade, you gonna get your rewards, man. So, you know, I used to walk up and down the blade on Beach Boulevard all the time, right? And I'll never forget, you know, it was this, matter of fact, at this time, it was, that motherfucker might still be called America's Best Value Inn. I can't remember if it still is. But it's right there where that split is. I can't remember the name of that damn street. I think it's Dale. Is it Dale? But it's a split right there. Beach Boulevard splits off and this other street keeps straight and Beach curves around. And right there where that split is, I want to say it's Dale Street. It's a hotel right there. It's a row hotel, but it's the first hotel right there. At the time, it was called America's Best Value Inn. And I was staying there with the bitch, right? This is like a block away from that Crescent Inn that I'm telling y'all about. So I'm staying at the America's Best Value Inn with this Jasmine bitch, right? And when I would have her down, I used to walk on Beach in Lincoln. It's the donut shop right there. It's 24 hours. The donut shop don't never close. Then it's a 7-Eleven in that same parking lot. So I used to always walk over there, walk to the donut shop, walk to 7-Eleven, and the donut shop was cool because it would always be some hoes in there, you know. But in that area, I used to see this little fat white bitch, right? And she was a little fat white bitch, so I wasn't really, you know, attracted to the bitch. But she was really some hoe, and she used to be down like a motherfucker, right? And she never necessarily got out of pocket with me, but you know, pimps, anybody who done did some pimping before, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. And even squares too done experienced the shit where a bitch might not necessarily articulate verbally that she's interested in you, but you know, she'll articulate it with her body language that she feeling you. You know what I mean? And she'll make certain gestures to try to get you to get at her, right? So that's this fat white bitch used to do, right? You know, I'm a young fly pimp, and a lot of times I'll be the only pimping out there. So this bitch, you know, she used to try to get me to sweat her all the time, but she's overweight. You know what I mean? She wasn't like an ugly bitch, but she a fat bitch. But so, you know what I mean? I'm not really trying to get at the bitch. But you know, I really should have been trying to have that bitch because even though she's a fat white bitch and I got this little crazy ass, you know, little red bone bitch from Milwaukee, you know what I mean? I'm more attracted to that bitch. But this white bitch is way more of a hoe than my little crazy bitch is, right? So I really should have been trying to have that bitch, you know. But anyway, I think I can't remember if we, for whatever reason, we was leaving at America's Best Value Inn, right? And the white bitch was staying there too. And I'll never forget. I'll never forget, man. It was kind of like an embarrassing moment to my pimping, right? You know, of course, I'll never let it show to the bitch, but I'll never forget. Me and the little crazy bitch, we was going back to Vegas, and we was catching the Greyhound back to Vegas, right? So we had a whole bunch of luggage and shit, right? And we had a cab pull up, and the cab is there, and we loading all this luggage into the motherfucking cab, you know, and because I think I lost my car at that time because I'll tell y'all that story in a minute too. I ended up losing that Toyota Corolla that I had on Sunset because the tags was fucked up and that motherfucker ended up getting impounded. I never got it back. But anyway, at this time, you know, I ain't got no car, so we loading this cab up and shit. And the little white bitch, she seen this opportunity to call herself shitting on a pimp, right? She come jumping her. She had a Magnum on 22s, right? And I had never seen what the bitch drove before. I didn't even know this bitch had a car. You know what I mean? And as I think about it in retrospect, it might have been her folks' car, but I never seen the bitch with no folks either. You know what I mean? So it might have been her car. But whatever the case, this bitch had a clean ass Magnum on 22s and shit. You know what I mean? And this '07, you know, the Magnums, they was like some cool cars to have at the time. You know what I mean? She got this motherfucking clean ass Magnum on 22s, and the bitch, you know what I mean, she come outside with her music beating, and she come drive past the cab, you know what I mean, and make sure that she's seen by me and this hoe in this motherfucking Magnum, you know what I mean, basically saying with her motherfucking actions like, yeah, you over here with this motherfucking crazy ass bitch, you know what I mean, and she got you catching a cab, and you could be fucking with me, and I'm over here driving this Magnum on 22s, and I'm really some hoeing, you know what I mean, I'm hoeing up for things around here, you know, that's the gesture that she was really trying to, that's what she's trying to say with that little gesture she made. It was some funny ass shit, but I never forget that moment, man. And when I seen the bitch ride like that, I was like, damn, man, you know, this bitch might be fat, but she over here really doing some hoeing. I'm over here dealing with this little crazy ass bitch over here that ain't doing half the hoeing that this bitch is doing. But yeah, man, I really should have been trying to have that little white bitch. You know, I could have shaved her down. You know, because like I said, she wasn't no ugly bitch. You know, I could have helped the bitch lose some weight or something. She had some hoeing in her, and she was digging my pimping. She really was trying to fuck with me and shit. You know, but she probably just didn't think I was interested in her, which really I wasn't. You know, so because I already know if I'd have pimped at the bitch, I could have broke on her and had her all that shit. But yeah, I ended up Like I said, that little Toyota Corolla I had, man, I ended up losing that motherfucker on Sunset. Sinful was with me. The bitch that he had at the time was there, and my little crazy bitch. We all in the car at the motherfucking. I want to say that's a Mobile, right there on Sunset and La Brea. I believe it was on Sunset and La Brea. It's a gas station right there. Or was it Sunset and Fairfax? It was somewhere over there, right? And I get pulled over, and the police, they ran my place and they seen my little move because my tags was bad, but I had the sticker on there like my shit was current. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers was crafty back then. We used to have all kind of little moves, especially in LA. So that's what I did. I had the little sticker on there. And the sticker would have it look like my shit was current, but if the police ran my place like they did, they'd see my registration was expired. So that's what the motherfuckers did. They peeled the little sticker off and seen the real sticker back there and seen the shit was from, expired date, and they ended up impounding my shit. You know what I mean? And if I remember correctly, we all was staying at that America's Best Value Inn. So we ended up having to catch a cab all the way there. I'm trying to remember, did I get the motherfucking car back? Because we had another situation, right? I'll never forget that too. We got pulled over in this same car. I'm trying to remember, did I lose it? Nah, you know what? Yeah. See, I had lost it one time and got it back. That was the last time I lost it and didn't get it back on Sunset. But we had got pulled over on Sepulveda too one time. You know what I mean? Same situation. Me and Sin, his bitch, my bitch. We riding on Sepulveda, right? No. We was leaving Sepulveda. We on Van Nuys and Roscoe. We leave Sepulveda going down Roscoe. I see the police back by Willis. You know what I mean? Which any of y'all know that area. Willis is like a little side street off of Roscoe. I see the police back there. You know what I mean? So I try to hurry up and dip and make that right. Right, Panorama City, like Born Supreme say. I try to make that right on Van Nuys and get on, but they blurt me as I'm making the right, so they pulled me over. And I didn't have no L's. Right, by the Panorama Mall. Across the street from there. Or like a little down the street, down Van Nuys Boulevard a little bit, like half a block. So I didn't have no motherfucking L's. And the only person in the car who had a valid license was Sinful's bitch, right? But the police was such haters, because normally when they ask, does anybody in the car have a license, that if somebody does, they'll usually let that individual drive off with the car. So, yeah, James Hudson, it's a block away. The Valley Indoor Mall. Well, no, actually, it's a few blocks away. Valley Indoor Mall is on Tobias and Parthenia. This is a couple blocks away from there. But yeah, so they pull us over. It's a female, I think she was a sergeant. It's a female sergeant, and she with a male rookie cop. So the male rookie cop, she like schooling him. He's like in training or something because he don't even know how to handle this situation. She's instructing him on everything to do, right? She's like, do this, do that, do this, do that. So, she has him ask all of us in the car if anybody got valid license. Old girl, Sinful's bitch in the back seat, she got valid license. So they run her shit. They see that her license is valid. But they such haters, and they already know. Fortunately, at this time, don't none of us have a record. You know what I mean? As far as like pimping and hoeing. Sinful ain't never been arrested in his life at this time. And both of these bitches back here, they ain't never been arrested. I'm the only one who done been arrested before, but I ain't got no pimping or nothing like that on my record. But they see how these bitches is dressed and they see how we dress, so they know it's pimping and hoeing. And we was coming from Sepulveda. So they know it's some pimping and hoeing. And it's top of the morning. It's like 6 in the morning and shit. And but anyway, they see that the bitch got valid license, but they still ended up impounding the car. And when they see my license is suspended, they take me to jail for the shit. But it was so fucked up. This is the worst that I ever been cuffed in my life. I think I was telling y'all, some of y'all, this story before. But imagine your wrist, both of your wrists being turned inward like this behind your back. They had my shit like this, tight as a motherfucker. That's the worst. I hate to say it, you know what I mean? It's not the most, it's not the thing I'm most proud of about myself, but I've been handcuffed a whole lot of times. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if I've been handcuffed hundreds of times, you know what I mean, in my life. I'd have been handcuffed a whole lot of times. And I'd have been handcuffed in some fucked up ways before. That was the worst handcuffing that I'd have ever had in my life. Them motherfuckers, because like I said, don't none of us have no record of pimping and hoeing, but they know what it is. So, and this is a female sergeant. So, with that being the case, you know, they treat me like they know I'm a pimp. So, they take me to the Van Nuys jail. They got me cuffed like this, you know what I mean? And when we get to the jail, they don't even do my paperwork. They leave me sitting on the bench for like 3 hours before they even get started on my paperwork. So I done fell asleep on the bench. They leave me handcuffed like that. And they impounded the car. In our room, we was, at that time for sure, we was staying in Orange County at the America's Best Value Inn on Beach Boulevard. So Sinful, and because we all was staying in the same room, you know, we young in the game. We all staying in the same room. They end up catching a cab all the way to motherfucking Orange County. And that cab ride was like $200 something. I think it might have damn near been $300. You know, but it was over $200 for sure. You know, so they was left stuck on Van Nuys Boulevard. They catch a cab all the way to Orange County. They take me to jail. They leave me handcuffed on the motherfucking bench for 3 hours before they start my paperwork. I done fell asleep, woke up. My arms is all fucked up because when your wrist is like this, both of your wrists behind your back, your arms is stuck up like this. I was fucked up. You know, so I ended up being in jail for like a few days and I ended up getting out. And that was that. You know, but yeah, you know, these is my my early days in the game. You know, like I said, them early days on them blades in California, man, was real cool. You know, they really helped shape and mold a young pimp for this shit, man. And I just stayed down. You know, I went through an experience in Vegas. I think I told y'all before on a different live some of this story. But it was a bitch that I had knocked in Vegas, right? No, Sinful. I was about to say, I think Sinful had got arrested at this time. This is early 08, but this Sinful hadn't gotten arrested at this time. This is before Sinful got arrested. Probably like a month or two before Sinful got arrested. But anyway, I think Sinful was in California at the time. I was in Vegas. I'm staying at the Harbor Islands. I ain't got no bitch at the time. And I ended up knocking this bitch that I had before. But before, I only had the bitch for like one day. This white bitch that I had at the time, she had brought the bitch home. And yeah, so I see the bitch again. It's like a few months later. I see the bitch at the Greyhound downtown Vegas, right? So the bitch ended up coming to fuck with me or whatever. And I had the bitch down like 2 days. I think it was the third night that I had the bitch, right? Now mind you, she's staying with me at the Harbor Islands. I send the bitch out the door around 9 o'clock to go work on the strip, right? I go out the door myself at about midnight. So I'll leave a little joint at midnight. And see, this is a lesson that I learned the hard way, because my partner Hot Shot, shout out to Hot Shot, he had told me, you know what I mean? Because he was more seasoned, he was much older, well, not much older, but he was older and more seasoned in the game than I was. And Hot Shot had already told me, you know what I mean? You know, I got a lot of game from Hot Shot, but he had already let me know, you know what I mean? Till a bitch prove herself, man, you ain't supposed to let a bitch know where you lay your head, man. Like, you know, a bitch that you just meeting and just knocking, and you don't know this bitch hoeography, you don't know this bitch's hoe facts, don't let that bitch know where you lay your head. Hot Shot had already laced me on that, but I went against what Hot Shot said. And, you know, I had this bitch for a day before, but I didn't really know the bitch like that. So I done brought her to my joint, you know, like I said. So that third night, she go out the door at about 9. I go out the door at about midnight. I stayed down on the strip till about like 7 or 8 o'clock, right? It was a bitch that I had that was in jail. You know what I mean? Sinful had the bitch too. And up until she went to jail, you know, she was the last motherfucker that she fucked with was Sinful. But I was trying to have the bitch back. You know what I mean? Little white bitch from West Virginia. I was trying to have the bitch back. So when she was in jail, of course, you know, while the bitch weak and vulnerable, guess what a pimp gonna do? I'm gonna show the bitch, I'm here, I'm down for you, you know what I mean? And I'm in the bitch ear like, yeah, you know, bitch, obviously Sinful don't care nothing about you, bitch. He out in California pimping like a motherfucker, you know, because if he cared about you like that, bitch, he'll be up here seeing about you. You know, he ain't wrote you, bitch. He ain't put no money on your books. He ain't visited you, bitch. You know, Sinful ain't thinking about you, bitch, but I'm here though, you know what I mean? So but anyway, I go visit this bitch in jail downtown in CCDC. By the time I get back to my joint at the Harbor Islands, it's about 9 in the morning, right? When I get to my joint, the door is cracked open about like this much, right? The door is cracked like this. It's a fucking big ass Chuck Taylor footprint on my door. This motherfucker had like a size 15 or something. This footprint was big as a motherfucker, right? Hold on a second, excuse me. Okay, so these motherfuckers done kicked my door in, right? I don't know who it is, but I done put it together. This bitch done did the shit, right? Because I ain't heard nothing from this bitch, right? Since I set her down, or since I sent her out the door at 9 o'clock last night, I ain't heard nothing from this bitch. So the motherfucking the door done been kicked in. I go inside. These motherfuckers done took everything. They took all my suits. They even took my dirty clothes that needed to go to the cleaners. You know, I had like a little laundry bag that I would keep my clothes that need to go to the cleaners. They took my dirty clothes that need to go to the cleaners. They took all my suits that was hung up. You know what I mean? I had a little digital camera that I'm so mad that they took, because that digital camera had a lot of like videos and pictures of me and Sinful early in the game, man. And man, if I had $1 million to pay for that camera with all of the shit that I had on there, I would do it. You know what I mean? That month, man, classic shit on that camera. So yeah, they took all that shit, everything of value that I had in that little weekly apartment. They took all my shit, right? So I'm like, damn, you know. And see, this is why a lot of people in Vegas, didn't know me from back then had a lot of respect for me because I stayed down like a motherfucker. Fortunately, when these motherfuckers broke into my joint and took all my shit, I was suited and booted. Matter of fact, the thumbnail of this video, that's what's ironic about this shit. The suit that I'm wearing on the thumbnail in this video is the suit that I had on when I went downtown to visit the bitch at jail, when I was out campaigning, and when I came back to my joint. That gray suit, you know what I mean, with them blue and black and gray shoes, that's what I had on when this shit happened. So guess what I was doing? For weeks, I'm down every day and every night in this same motherfucking suit. You know, and that's why, like, a lot of motherfuckers all over Vegas. That's why a lot of motherfuckers all over Vegas respected me, you know, because of that. You know, they be like, damn, this nigga Freeze, he's serious, you know what I mean? He down at a bitch campaigning all day and all night in this same motherfucking suit. You know, of course, I stayed clean. I stayed fresh. You know, I stayed well groomed and smelling good, colognes, you know, all the shit, you know what I mean? But it was this same motherfucking suit. That's all I had to wear, and I still didn't have no bitch, you know what I mean? But I'm moving around. You know, I'll never forget, one day I walked from motherfucking Mandalay Bay all the way to the Greyhound station in that suit with them dress shoes on. You know what I mean? Anybody who know, like, who done wore some dress shoes down, that motherfucking, that outside of the heel in the back, you know what I mean? That shit wear down and that shit start curving and shit like that. You know what I mean? I had wore that motherfucker down. You know? But yeah, and then I used to be at the Greyhound station every day. See, the Greyhound is different now. You know, he said like Tim's, exactly. Like me excited, just like them Tim's. I used to wear Tim's like a motherfucker too. But yeah, and I used to be at that Greyhound station faithfully every day. Because back then you used to pull up to the Greyhound and hang out. You could be in that motherfucker all day and they wouldn't fuck with you. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's why a lot of motherfuckers respected me, because I didn't give a fuck what nobody thought. I was wearing that same suit all the time. Like, yeah, it might be the same suit every motherfucking time, but hey, I'm clean though. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. You know, that was the early makings of Freeze the Pimp. You dig? Born Supreme say, who licked your spot? I never found, oh shit, I'm tripping. I never found out who hit my spot, man. I just know that bitch had set it up. You know what I mean? And I never seen the bitch again after that. But I had an opportunity to see the bitch, but it was my fault. I had missed that opportunity because of some shit that I had, you know, it was my fault. You know, cause oh shit, there you go. Hey y'all, hold on just a second. All right, back with y'all. But yeah, shit. These ain't. Hold on a sec. I'm holding this phone low right now because I'm driving. All right. But yeah, man, I seen somebody made a comment, that's why your pimp is so, oh, okay. There it go. First name, last name, that's why your pimp is so strong, man. Yeah, you know, cause not just that, man. I done been through all kind of shit in the game, man, especially early on. You know, of course, you know, I was very green at one point in time, you know, don't nobody come into the game all knowing, omniscient, and seasoned. So you know, experience does that for you. And yeah, you know, certain cats, certain elder pimps that I was cool with early on, you know, T Mac, you know, T Mac was a old school pimp from the 70s that I was cool with, you know what I mean, that I learned a lot from. Another cat that I was cool with back then was Mac Man. I talked a little bit before on a different live about Mac Man. You know what I mean? He was some other old school pimping that was pimping back in the 70s. Mac Man was originally from New York. T Mac was from Milwaukee. And those were like some older pimps that I was cool with and had a strong influence on me in my early days. My partner Hot Shot out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Fly ass motherfucker, charismatic, intelligent, gamed up, one of a kind individual. You know, I learned a lot from him, and he had a strong influence on me. And you know, a host of other cats. Another partner of mine, Golden A. Ree, out of Dallas, Texas. You know, some old school pimping. Uh, A. Ree he was another individual that had a really strong influence on me. You know, and I learned a lot. A. Ree was a very ganged up individual, you know, uh, who I learned a lot from. I should have stopped right there. Fuck it. Damn, is they fucking with people? Shit. Let me go this way. Man, coronavirus is going around and y'all fucking with people? People is really fucking with people. And I don't want them to fuck with me, so let me go this way. Yeah, but yeah, man, and of course Sinful. You know, Sinful, even though he and I come into the game together, you know, and we both was green at the same time and we both evolved at the same time. You know, we had a real big influence on each other. You know, we was birds of a feather, and you know, we learned a lot from each other. You know what I mean? Because we both were already intelligent individuals coming into the game, and we both had a lot of game, you know, from our past lives coming into the game. You know, I did a lot of hustling early on in my early days, and you know, having the father that I had, you know, I had a lot of game based on that. And you know, Sinful, him having the spiritual background that he had, and you know, him being raised the way that he was raised, man, you know, we had a strong influence on each other, and we learned a lot from each other early in the game. African movements say you meet Gorgeous Dre. Yeah, I've met Gorgeous Dre numerous times, and that's my brother. I'm gonna mute this phone for a second. Y'all excuse me. Okay, I ain't got it muted just yet, but read some of these comments. Miser for real say, what money you like better, carpet or track? You know, I ain't gonna say as far as the money that I like one better than the other, but what I do like overall is cooperation. You know, because with the cooperation, you know they gonna do whatever's told. They gonna follow instructions to the T. So that's what I like and appreciate more than anything is cooperation. Hold on. What was the first thing that you would do differently if you could go back? Gracias. Uh, Ken says, what is the first thing you would do differently if you could go back? You know what, man? I don't know if I would do anything differently because I appreciate everything happening the way that it did. You know, pretty sure if I sat and thought about it, I could probably think of something. But right now, uh, I can't really think of anything. Born Supreme say, what, if any, impact is COVID-19 having on the game? It's having a major impact on the game. Now, fortunately for somebody like myself, you know, I know how to navigate through this situation in particular. So, so, yeah, it's not having a, I mean, it's having an effect on me, but I'm still able to do my thing. You know, of course, there's some things that I would like to do that I can't do right now, given the situation. But as far as the game as a whole, it's having a major impact because a lot of people in the game, for instance, let's talk about just Miami, right? A lot of people in the game get their money out the strip club. You know, the strip club is a major thing in the game in Miami, right? The strip clubs are closed. There is not a strip club open anywhere right now. So that's cutting off the lifeline for a lot of people in the game right there. A lot of people in the game fuck with other avenues as far as like, bars and clubs and shit like that. Mingling, hotel resorts, shit like that. Everything is closed right now. So for the people in the game who get down like that, it's fucked up right now. So that's the major impact that it's having on people in the game. It's cut off. A lot of people's lifeline have been cut off right now. So, and then like LA, for instance, right? For those of y'all that's in California, y'all know that y'all got that stay-at-home order. So you're not really supposed to be moving around on the streets right now unless like certain people still have to work. Like people in the medical field, certain government jobs. Like my mom's work for the county, so mom's was telling me she still got to go to work. People with certain jobs, they still got to go to work. But for the most part in California, it really ain't no movement going on right now. So needless to say, the tracks ain't open. Not only are the strip clubs in California closed, not only are the bars and nightclubs and hotel resorts and all of that shit, casinos, places where a motherfucker would normally go to get their money, not only is all that shit closed, but the track is closed too. You know what I mean? And with the movement not being allowed, or the movement being to a minimum, even the internet in California, motherfuckers is playing the internet. How you gonna do a call if you can't go to somebody or somebody can't come to you? So it's having a major impact on the game, just like it is anybody else. Just like those of y'all that's watching, I'm sure somebody watching right now who lives check to check. And because you can't go to work right now, some people might have, special type of circumstances where, you able to stay afloat. But it's a lot of people right now that can't go to work right now, so they ain't got no money. So yeah, this shit is fucked up for a lot of people. But I'm blessed. I'm not bragging or anything like that. I'm very appreciative of the fact that I'm still able to get down right now, and I'm getting it while I can. Because I don't know how long my ability to get down is gonna last. I don't know if tomorrow here in Miami they're gonna say, no movement, you can't go outside. I don't know when they're gonna do that. So, in the meantime, we down. We still getting it, and it's a blessing. I appreciate it, but it's ugly for a lot of people in the game. First name, last name say they getting ready to shut us down in Denver completely. Army tanks riding down Colfax. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I know about that Colfax, man. I done been down over there, man. That's crazy. Yeah, like James Hudson say, freeze, Cali is shut down. You dig? Yeah, I'm already knowing, man. Like, y'all can't even move around out there. Miser for real say, is Vegas your least desired city to pee nowadays? Yeah, Vegas, like, the thrill is gone for me. I don't really have the same love for Vegas like I used to. But speaking of Vegas, that's another place where all the casinos are shut down. You know what I mean? Like, everybody lifeline in Vegas done been cut off pretty much, except maybe a thing or two. Vegas, I think you probably can still get some money in the game, but like I say, just like where I am right now, ain't no telling how long that shit gonna last. So a motherfucker just gotta get it while they can. You know, if you able to still get some money in the game right now, you better count your blessings and appreciate that shit, because a lot of people in the game ain't getting no money right now. A lot of people in the game is stuck, you know, and it's fucked up because, you know, it's a lot of people in the game that go through shit and they leaking and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm already knowing that it's a pimp right now that's sleeping in his car. It's a hoe right now probably sleeping in her car and ain't got nowhere to go and don't know how to get to the money. And you know what I mean? It's man, it's just fucked up right now. Like I feel real bad for certain individuals in the game, because I just know it's all kind of ups and downs in this shit. And you know, it's like getting caught with your pants down, so to speak. You know? So you know, a lot of times we roast and talk shit about different people in the game for getting down differently than we do, and you know, not doing as well as we doing and all that type of shit, you know. But right now, you know, I ain't laughing at nobody in the game. You know, even motherfuckers who I don't really care for. You know, I know it's ugly right now. So, you know, I wish everybody in the game the best. You know, because it's ugly for everybody right now. You know what I mean? Well, for the majority of people, and the people who it ain't ugly for, it's gonna get ugly. You know. Brown Skin Alice say, oh shit, I was supposed to turn it. Oh, Freeze, did you answer my question? I must have missed it. I don't recall your question. Type it again for me so I can see it, because I'm pretty sure that I missed it. I don't remember your question. Come on, Slowpoke. All right. All righty, let's see. I'm driving and trying to read these comments at the same time, so I'm about to park again in a second, so y'all bear with a pimp. I tell you what though, right now is not the time to frown on any way to get some money, on any way to break a trick, any way to catch a date. Right now is not the time to be too cute for certain shit, because as y'all already know in the game, you got a lot of bitches that's too cute for this and too cute for that, and oh, I don't do the internet. I don't sit around in a room and wait and da 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 da. You know, but if that's not what you're accustomed to, but in the area where you at right now, that's the only thing going, and it's actually going, shit, you better get to it. And of course, the main thing that a lot of bitches in the game is too cute for is the motherfucking track. No, the track is a downgrade. I'm above the track. I graduated from the track. Like a bitch got a cap and gown and stepped up from the motherfucking track. Hey, if it's a track open near you, shit, and you know how to play the track, and you fucking with some pimping, and some pimping fucking with you, or like you might be the type of pimp that don't set hoes down on the track, hey, I don't know what to tell you, but man, hey, shit. Track might be the best thing going right now. Shit. Wait. Miser for real say strippers got OnlyFans and premiums right now. Hey, it's funny that you mentioned OnlyFans because like I did a little bit of research with that OnlyFans shit, and I see every bitch on Instagram promoting that OnlyFans shit. And I don't know, maybe it's something that I've missed, but as far as I can see, like, because I kept seeing all these bitches promote saying OnlyFans, OnlyFans, OnlyFans. So it prompted me to like do a little bit of research. And I'm not the most savvy on it, and I've never fucked with it, of course, so I don't know from experience of fucking with it. But as far as I can see, the majority of bitches is not gonna make no real money on OnlyFans. And for damn sure, even the most paid bitch on OnlyFans is not fucking with a hoe. You know, because like I was reading about the shit, right? And this article that I was reading was pretty recent. I'm pretty sure that it was from this year, right? And they was mentioning this one bitch. I forget what the bitch name was or who the bitch was, but it was this one particular bitch. She was the most paid bitch on OnlyFans, right? And at that time, which I think this article might have been a couple months old or something, but at that time, that bitch was making like I think 10,000 a month or something like that. Which for a hoe that's down outside every day and putting in the same hours on the concrete that the bitch is putting in on OnlyFans, you gonna check way more than 10,000 in a month. So that's why I say like, as far as I can see, like OnlyFans ain't nothing special. Now maybe in the future it could evolve into something special. Like Sinful said, because me and Sinful was talking about it, and he was saying, shit, maybe one day OnlyFans might be the shit. Just like at one point in time, YouTube wasn't like it wasn't seen as a strong source of income, but now it is. A lot of people live off of YouTube, and they make a great living off of YouTube. Maybe OnlyFans might evolve into that, but right now, man, OnlyFans is not fucking with no hoeing, like outside really hoeing. OnlyFans is not fucking with it. And so I say all that to say, if the top paid bitch on OnlyFans is making 10,000 a month, imagine what the average bitch is making. The average bitch probably ain't making 1,000 a month. So yeah, I don't see it. Oh, DeBell, what's up with it? Yeah, you see, I'm repping my Portland hat. I got my Portland hat on, man. This motherfucker was flying. It went with an outfit that I was getting at the time, man. And I got a lot of love for Portland. You know what I mean? You already know that. So yeah, I got my Blazers hat on. Even though I can't stand these motherfuckers, because there was a point in time when them motherfuckers used to get the Lakers problems. You know what I mean? Portland was one of them teams, back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Man, Portland was giving Lakers problems, you know what I mean? Especially that motherfucking Bonzi Wells. I always be saying that. I hated motherfucking Bonzi Wells. That nigga right there used to give Lakers problems. Bonzi Wells used to be lighting shit up. But yeah, man. John Doe say, how you feel about hoes with boyfriends? Hoes don't have boyfriends, you know what I mean? Prostitutes have boyfriends. Escorts, or whatever you want to call them, have boyfriends. Hoes, or 304s as you call them, have pimps. You know what I mean? Or they might be in between trying to find a pimp. You dig? But yeah. That's how I see that. Jay Jones say just left Portland yesterday. Yeah, man. Shout out to Portland, man. And see, Portland is the strip club capital of the world. There is no place on the planet that has more strip clubs per capita than Portland. So, man, and I'm pretty sure, just like everywhere else, that all of them damn strip clubs in Portland is closed right now. So I know it's a lot of motherfuckers in the game up that way that's feeling it. They feeling it right now. So I know it's ugly. I know it's ugly up that way. So much love and best of blessings to everybody in the game up there in that PO, man. The Bell say it might be God's way of getting suckers out the way that we're in the way, and it's only getting realer. Yeah, it's the moment of truth right now. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of shit going on right now that motherfuckers ain't got the heart for. That motherfuckers ain't gonna be able to handle and make it through. You dig? A lot of motherfuckers is gonna fold their hands right now. So, and of course, the real gonna stay down through it all. So, it is what it is. Ken say, man, I have always been told Portland is the whitest city in America. Never thought they got down like that. Yeah, see, of course, Portland, like uh, like a lot of cities in America, has gone through gentrification. So Portland is I believe it's I'm not from there, but from what I've observed, it's a very different city than it used to be. Um, they had they still do have, you know, a strong black community up there, but it's probably not like it used to be because, like I say, y'all know how that gentrification shit go. A lot of motherfuckers get pushed out of their communities and shit, so the community ain't as strong as it used to be. But it's still a lot of black people in Portland, and as far as this game go, it's a whole lot of game that come out of Portland. You know what I mean? I got a whole lot of love for Portland. I fuck with a whole lot of people out of Portland in the game. You know what I mean? And yeah, Portland has been a very big blessing to the game because there's been a lot of great individuals, pimps and hoes that come out of Portland. Yeah, so shout out to Portland. I always have a lot of love for Portland. You know what I mean? That's why I don't mind rocking this hat, even though I don't fuck with the basketball team, man, because they, they always give my Lakers a problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, Brandon Roy, he's another motherfucker that gave the Lakers problems. You know what I mean? But I like Brandon Roy. Shout out to Brandon Roy. But yeah. Devontae Jackson says, can you save this live? Yeah, after this live is over with, man, y'all will be able to go back and watch it, over and over again, or, skip to certain parts, chop it, screw it, however you want to do it. You will be able to see this again. Right, like Ken say, Brandon Roy was that dude, his knees just gave out on him. Yeah, hey, man. Brandon Roy was a fucking beast. Yeah, he was a beast. Yeah, I hate the way that he had to go out. Cause like you said, his knees just gave out on him, man. I hate the way that he had to go out. But that boy was a beast. Dre 206 say Seattle's still down and around. Well, I'm already knowing, man. I'm already knowing that Aurora popping out that motherfucker. I'm already knowing. And probably them other blades too. Denny Way probably popping right now. You know what I mean? I know what's going on around that motherfucker. I know it. Seattle is another place where it's too much game going on for it to not be going on. You dig? Deluxe, I like that question. Would you say your catch hand is stronger than your keep hand, or is you equal with your game? Uh, I would say my keep hand is stronger than my catch hand. My catch hand is cool, but you know, I've always been like a real particular cat, probably sometimes too particular, but whatever the case, you know, for whatever reason, my catch hand, you know, ain't as good as my keep hand. My keep hand is cool, you know, because yeah, my keep hand is cool. I'll just say that. Grandmaster say once this coronavirus step back, what about that music, P? Yeah, you know, I do want to fuck with that music, you know, and I plan on dropping something later this year, man. But hopefully, you know, we come to a resolution with this shit real soon, man. You know, not just for the sake of this music, but just for the whole world to get back to normal, man. Because this shit ain't no joke. And you know, of course, those of us who are fairly young and have a strong immune system and don't have any like pre-existing health conditions, you know, of course, you know, we don't have as much to worry about as far as ourselves. You know, if any of us in that demographic was to catch the shit, you know, we have a strong chance at recovering from it. But you know, for those of us who have mothers and grandmothers that are up in age, and just relatives, period, that's up in age, grandparents, you know, elder family members and so on, it's a scary thing for them type of people, man. I know some of y'all probably heard about that story in New Jersey, man, where that family, it's one family that within a week's time, the mother died and two of her sons and her daughter died within a week of each other, all from the coronavirus. The mother was 73 years old. Her three kids that died were all in their 50s. She has one daughter that's still living, and I don't think that daughter has the coronavirus, but that woman, basically within a week's time, she saw her sister, her mother, and two of her brothers die. Her mother and brother died on the same day. First, one of her sisters died, and then her mother, no, first the one sister died, then a few days later, the brother died, and later that day, the mother died, and then a few days after that, the other brother died. And, you know, the cold part about it, other family members of theirs got the shit too because they had like a big family dinner, you know, and that's how the shit. The first person in New Jersey to die from the coronavirus was at this dinner. And I don't know if they got it from that individual or that individual got it from them or whatever the case may be. But the first death in New Jersey, that individual was at that dinner. So 19 people in that family is quarantined and being tested right now. And I don't know if everybody then got their test results back, but they also have two family members that's in critical condition from the coronavirus in that same family. And one of them has it, but I don't think that person is in critical condition. And then, like I said, the mother, the two sons, and the daughter, they all died within a week of each other. So, you know, it's a scary thing. You know, of course, like I said, those of us that's young and strong and healthy, you know, we not really so scared of it for ourselves, man. But you know, I got elder family members, you know, that I'm really concerned about, man. So it's fucked up, you know. I don't want nobody to catch this shit. I don't want nobody to have it. I really hope that this self-isolation, I mean this social distancing and isolation shit, I really hope it works, man. And please believe that if they shut this motherfucker down, if they say the whole state of Florida got to stay in the house, I'm gonna abide by that shit. Because even though I don't have the shit, um, you know, I just want to abide by the shit and cooperate with everybody so that we can get to the bottom of this shit, eradicate this shit and push forward in life, I don't want to see nobody with this shit. So, Big Bad Kahuna once says that got to be genetics. Yeah, I don't know if all of those family members had pre-existing health conditions. The article that I read didn't say if they did or not, but yeah, it's a sad situation, man. Pierre Bundy said I copped the Vitamin P project off iTunes. Hey man, I appreciate you for supporting, man. That's much appreciated. And I hope you enjoying it over there. You dig? That's funny as hell. Divine Bolders say, tell my homie that it's still tricking if it's counterfeit. Yeah, it's still tricking if it's counterfeit. Of course, I mean, you conned the bitch out of her pussy or head or whatever it was, her time or whatever. You conning, but yeah, it's still tricking. It's still the spirit of tricking because I'm a pimp. And of course, I'm not going to ever trick on a bitch. But I ain't going to say to myself, okay, I got this counterfeit money. I'm going to give this bitch this counterfeit money and date the bitch. But, I ain't giving her no real money. So, nah. It's still tricking, buddy. It still got that spirit of tricking in it. You know what I mean? Because the way I see it, if you date a bitch with some counterfeit money, given the right circumstance, you'll definitely date a bitch with some real money too. Or you have dated a bitch with some real money. "23 stand-up guys say health is wealth." Indeed. Indeed it is. "6'6" Issei. Shout out. Oh, damn, that's my bro. Love you too, bro, man. I appreciate you. Been a long time, man. Yeah, man. You're gonna have to we're gonna have to link up, man. I don't know if you got Dad or Samara's number or something, man, but give one of them your number, man, so I can hit you, man. My brother is in the live chat, y'all. Check that out. That's my bro right there, man. Yes, indeed. From all of your experience, what would you say is the best way to keep her around? Mr. Wright says. Uh, you know, I would say it's not so much about trying to keep her around. It's about, for me, it's about being the best that I can be, and through that, if she appreciates that, she'll stay down. You know, and it's about the golden rule more so than anything. You know, I'm a firm believer in the golden rule. You know, do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. You know, so yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. So I would say keep that in mind. And peep the way I said that with the golden rule is do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. That's not the same thing as treat people the way they treat you. Because a lot of people get that mixed up. You know, treat people the way they treat you is like, okay, this bitch is foul to me, so I'm gonna be foul to her. Nah, that's not the golden rule. You know, the golden rule is basically treat people the way that you want to be treated. Do people the way that you would want them to do you. And that doesn't mean that if somebody is foul to you, you be foul to them, you know. But I say the golden rule, man. Of course, you know, everybody ain't gonna appreciate the golden rule the way that you do. So it'll be times where you're doing her the way that you want her to do you, but she's not returning the favor. And within that, you know, it may not last, but you know, that's what I say. Devon Bolden say, "Are you making a fitness channel soon / gym routine?" Devon, I really don't. I don't have any particular plans. That's something that I think about, but at this moment, I don't have any like particular plans for it. You know, so I say, you know, don't hold your breath on that because that's not something that I'm like, okay, at this time I'm gonna do that. You know, I don't have that in my head like that right now. So, but I do think about it though. So ain't no telling at this point. It may happen, it may not. I don't know. It's something I guess that I would have to make time for and plan for. You dig? At Freeze, what's your primary diet in Miami? What you eating? Uh, I made some changes this year. You know, of course, as y'all, those of y'all that know me, you know that I don't eat red meat. You know that I don't eat pork. You know that I don't eat fried food. Um, this year, I decided to put down dairy, so I don't eat dairy and any type of dairy products, and I don't eat bread. I put bread down again this year. For those of y'all that know, I stopped eating bread in 2018. So for the whole year of 2018, I had no bread. I started back eating bread last year, 2019, but I didn't get real heavy on the bread because I was like kind of used to not eating it already. So but I liked the way I felt in 2018 not eating bread. So again, this year is no bread, no dairy. Uh, so with that in mind, like tonight for dinner I had, and if y'all look at my story on Facebook or Instagram, tonight I had uh, salmon. I put some salmon on the barbecue grill, so I had some grilled salmon with some steamed rice and some veggies, some steamed veggies. That was my dinner tonight. So yeah, basically a lot of seafood, uh, vegetables, you know, rice, things like that. That's pretty much what I'm on right now. Uh, Poultry, of course. You know, like the other day, I made some spaghetti with ground chicken and chicken sausage, some smoked chicken sausage. Uh, I forget what kind of sauce I used. I probably wouldn't tell y'all that anyway. You know what I mean? I don't need y'all trying to buy the pimp style, you know what I mean, with the spaghetti and everything like that. But yeah, I had some spaghetti with some ground chicken and some chicken sauces the other day. That shit was fire. That shit was bomb. Uh yeah, so things like that is what I'm eating. Safety czar say put some love in your body. Indeed, to that. Where my love? My love done got tipped over. Where'd it go? Hold on. Okay. Me grab the love, man. For those of y'all who ain't put no love in your body tonight, man, go ahead and do that. Like I said, I don't want to hear nothing about Freeze, man. I'm fresh out of love. Freeze, I ain't got no love around me right now. That's bullshit because I know all of y'all done stocked up on some water. Some of y'all probably got 20 gallons at the house right now. Because in a minute you ain't going to be able to go to the store and get none because they going to shut everything down. So yeah, go ahead and hydrate yourself. Put some of this love shit in your body. You dig? D's nuts say thought rice was like bread, makes you gain weight. It is in the sense of it being carbs, but of course I'm gonna put some carbs in my life, but I like to minimize I like to minimize my options. And see, I'm one of them type of individuals that like I can eat the same thing every day forever. If I find something that I like, I can eat that shit all the time and not get tired of it. Just like how y'all see Sinful with the fruit and vegetables, you know what I mean? I mean not the fruit and vegetables, the fruit. He ain't even eating vegetables. Fruit and water. That's all he doing. When y'all see Sinful do that for like 100 days, like he's at this point he's done it more than once. Um, he's also one of those individuals that when he finds something that he likes and that works and is effective, he ain't got no problem eating that same shit every day. So Sin, all he do is eat the same. He got the fruit that he likes. It's a few different fruits that he likes, and he's fucking with that every day. That's the only thing he putting in his mouth is fruit and water. You dig? So yeah, I'm one of them type of dudes, man, that I like to minimize my options as far as eating. I like to eat to live instead of living to eat. That's one of the problems with the world right now. We got too many options. And a lot of times it causes confusion, it causes stagnation and some more shit. Yeah, so I like to keep shit to a minimum. Fitness Sage says, I recite tablespoon a game like affirmation. Salute to you, P. Hey, Fitness Sage, I appreciate that, man. That's what's up. I'm glad that it serves that purpose for you. Ellenwood Slim says, do you meal prep and eat 3 meals a day or smaller meals throughout the day? I don't meal prep. I haven't ever meal prepped, but I've thought about meal prepping, and I might one of these days, especially now because they got some real good like vegan meal prep shit out there that I'm interested in. Uh, I just want to try it and see how it goes. Uh, but no, I haven't meal prepped. And then as far as how many meals a day that I eat, I usually eat two big meals a day. One big meal early in the day, one big meal in the evening. That's usually how I do it. So yeah. Is potatoes good to eat if you go to the gym 3 times a week? It depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to gain weight and put on mass, then potatoes might be good for you. And of course, you want to keep in mind how much you putting in, how much you taking in. But if you're trying to lose weight or get lean or something like that, then potatoes might not be the best thing for you. So it really depends on what your goal is. You want to eat according to what your goal is. So potatoes could be the thing, could not be the thing. Depends on what you want to do. E Roca says, "What's your age?" I'm 21, man. I turn 21 every year. I turned 21 last year. This year I'll be 21 again. It's just a blessing that God blessed me to be that way, man. I didn't ask him for that. He just bestowed that blessing upon me, and I appreciate him for that. But God done made it so I turn 21 every year. And this year, again, I'll be 21. Thank God. uh, Jay Jones say, how much you weigh? I'm not exactly sure how much I weigh right now, man. I gotta jump on the scale and see. What's the height? I am 5'10". Damn, Jay Jones say 220. Nah, you know, I might try to get up to 220 before the year is over with, though. But nah, I'm not 220 right now. E. Roca says, I remember you telling the story about the fools who ran up on you in Long Beach. Crazy. Yeah, you probably talking about the story where I was in the essays hood. You know what I mean? I was really out of bounds tripping. I think you talk about that story, yeah. Yep. That was during the times where, Long Beach was real crazy. Long Beach was crazy at that time, and yeah, it's a lot of people that was in that situation that I was in that didn't make it. I just got blessed on that day. These nuts say I remember that too. Those essays were tripping. Yeah. Ellenwood Slim say, "Do you work abs at all?" Yeah, and I just started back on the ab wheel the other day. You know, but that's how I work my abs. I do that ab wheel. To me, that's the best thing going for the abs. So I fuck with that. Thoughts on requirements when choosing? Uh, just go 487. As far as requirements for choosing, I think it really depends on the individual. You know, uh, some of us are more concerned with some things than others. You know, some cats, their only requirement to get chose is a particular amount of money. Like they'll tell a female, yeah, you gotta have this much to come fuck with me. But me, I appreciate my freedom and my health more than anything. And I've had situations where, like the story I just told earlier, the bitch came to fuck with me, and shortly thereafter, she had some niggas run up in my joint, and fortunately, I wasn't there because I'm pretty sure if I was there, somebody could have very well gotten hurt or taken out, and it very well could have been me. So, fortunately, I wasn't there for that, but you know, and then I've had other situations, like I told y'all about that. You know, I told y'all that story on a different live video where, you know, a female chose me, and shortly thereafter she tried to put them people in my business, and I was hiding behind a damn Coke machine for 3-4 hours. I know y'all remember that story. So, you know, a particular amount of money isn't going to guarantee that this female is really going to be down for you and have your best interests at heart. She could very well be a vindictive type of individual, or just a foul individual one way or another, and don't give a fuck about your freedom or your well-being or any of that type of shit. And she might give you some thousands or whatever you tell her to give you, but, you know, she might not give a fuck about you. So she might be choosing you for the wrong reasons. You know, she might be giving you this choosing fee, but, you know, she might only be paying you because she think you look good, or she might only be paying you because of your situation. You know, things that you got going on, like your house, or your car, or your status, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, she might be choosing you for the wrong reasons. And with those things in mind, she could very easily compromise your freedom and your well-being and not give a fuck. So, yeah. For me, I pay attention to the intent, you know, very closely. And, you know, I'm going to figure out if this female, you know, got my best interest at heart, and she really want to see me happy, healthy, and wealthy, like I want to see her happy, healthy, and wealthy. So, yeah. James Hudson say, yeah, the Longos was tripping. Yeah, them late 90s, early 2000s, man. Yeah, them Longos was tripping. Everybody was tripping. You know, just depending on who was getting tripped on who. You know what I mean? Because when it come to them Longos, you know, they was getting into it with them TRGs and them Asian boys real tough. You know, the Insanes in the 20s, they was going at each other real tough. Like, man, you know, just Long Beach was a crazy place back then. And, you know, it still has its shit, but I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, which is a good thing. Ellenwood Slim say, any problems with the Hoovers on Fig? No, me personally, I haven't had any problems with no Hoovers on Fig, but I know some individuals that have. And yeah. Devon Bolden says, your Kim Kardashian versus Blac Chyna video is classic. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I enjoyed doing that video. That video was cool. I liked it myself, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it and appreciated it as well. Good looking. Just Go 487 says, also for you, what do she has to have, as in standards, understanding, loyalty, etc.? As far as standards, you know, I just, you know, I don't mind, you know, accepting a female for where she is, and she may not be up to par at the time when she wants to come and choose, you know. But my thing is desire. You know, does she have the desire to step her game up and better herself? You know, so as far as standards go, yeah, the standards for desire have to be there, as far as, you know, growing and building and becoming better. And as far as understanding and loyalty, yeah, you know, it's a few things that I like to establish with a young lady when we join together, and that's understanding, respect, uh, trust, loyalty. Definitely that. Of course, those things come in stages. The understanding comes first. Because before we can get anywhere, we got to have an understanding with each other so that we on the same page. And once we have an understanding, then we can respect each other. It's going to be difficult to respect each other if we don't have an understanding first. So we establish the understanding, then we establish the respect, and then we grow into the loyalty and the trust. So yeah. Devontae Jackson says, "Would you ever retire?" Um, no, because this isn't just what I do. This is who I am. So I don't see myself retiring from who I am. I retire from who I am when I'm no longer. So that's when my retirement is gonna come, when I'm no longer who I am. Born Supreme says, it's a bunch of ceasefires and truces going on between different sets in LA right now, both brown and black, in between the races. Yeah, of course, the most notable one that we see is the the peace between the Florencias and the Florence and the East Coast. That's a beautiful thing, because that's some shit that a lot of us thought would never happen. A lot of them probably thought that shit would never even happen. Because they've been at each other's throats for a long time, a good 20 years or so. So to see them, establish peace between each other, that's a beautiful thing, man. I know a lot of people in LA, especially motherfuckers in the gang culture, they like, especially young people too, they like to see the bullshit kicked up, and that shit is cool and fun to them and all that type of shit. But me myself, I like to see that shit. I like to see the peace established. Because I remember as a kid, when it was a such thing as, essays and black gangs being cool with each other, and fucking with each other. You know, uh, it wasn't always a time where the black and brown was just at each other's throats. And you still, throughout all the bullshit, you've had certain instances where, you know, uh, a SA hood in a blood or a Crip hood that's close to them, they might not necessarily be beefing with each other and they coexist peacefully, but they don't really fuck with each other, because it's just the nature of the beast. They don't really fuck with each other. But I remember a time as a kid, when certain essays and blacks would like actually fuck with each other. It was cool. Of course, it came a time where that shit was, the the Mexican mafia kind of like really put an end to that shit. But yeah, I remember them days, man. So it'll be cool to see it, get to that point, because it's a lot of power in that. It's a lot of power in the unity and the peace between, the black and the brown, and because it's a lot of, that's what a lot of us, kind of like overlook. It's a lot of brown on brown issues that I would love to see, an end put to, and it's of course a lot of black on black issues that I would like to see an end put to in LA. You know what I mean? That'd be a beautiful thing, man, if everybody could come to an understanding and be peaceful with each other. So, but yeah, man, I see we've been live for 3 hours And Pimp gonna go ahead and put an end to this shit in a minute, man. I'm gonna answer a few more questions, and probably in about 5 minutes we gonna put an end to this shit. You know what I mean? That'd be 3 hours and 5 minutes in the 305. You dig? And for those of y'all who have not wiped your feet off at the door when you came to a pimp's domain, you know, please do so now. You dig? And what I mean by wiping your feet off at the door, man, when you come in here, man, hit that thumbs up button, man. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do so now. And thank you. And if you have not, put some love in your body. Put some of this love juice in your throat, man. I know all of y'all stocked up on water right now, man. I know it's probably been other times where you done been on the live with Freeze and you didn't have no water on deck. But given the circumstances right now, I don't want to hear it. I know everybody got some love in their life, but put it in your body, though. I know y'all got some love. You dig? Chanel say, damn, I came late. Yeah, you know, but it's the beautiful thing. Of course, you know, ain't nothing like having it live directing in full effect and interacting and engaging with us. But the beautiful thing is that you can go back and watch this again after it's over with. You dig? And you can tune in next time. El Vegas 702 says the strip is shut down in Vegas. Yeah, I heard, man. I'm already knowing. I heard all the lights off on the strip, man, which is crazy. I don't know if that part is true, but I did hear that the strip is definitely shut down. Though that's crazy to imagine that. Born Supreme say, last question, Pete. Is there non-American peas? Is there non-American peas pimping the way peas from North America do outside the Western Hemisphere? That I don't know because I haven't seen that. You know, I can't say if it is. What I will say is that I'm pretty sure that they're not, you know, doing it the same way, and they don't have the same type of outlook that we do, because it's just a certain type of culture here. You know, that's just like with other things, you know, like hip hop. You know, of course, you know, it's people involved in the hip hop culture around the world, but you know, it's just different here than it would be somewhere else. So I think it's the same thing with the peas. You know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they have a different outlook and a different ideology and so on and so forth in other places outside the Western Hemisphere. So yeah. Devon say water and toilet paper. Yeah, you know, everybody banked up on that. Plenty of water and plenty of toilet paper. Cause that shit is hard to find right now. What brand of water you drinking on? That's just like the, you know, the Glacier water refills around, you know. That's what I'm drinking on right now. Reading these comments, y'all. Hold on. Jets Go 487 says, thoughts on teaching a student universally that can be applied to not just one but many. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. My bad. Yasharala Cam, I think that's how you say your name. We are officially third world. Nah, we ain't at that point yet, man. We still got it a lot better than third world countries right now, as we speak. Mr. Marcus says, do you know G Gov out of Dallas? I've met G Gov a couple of times, but I wouldn't say that I know him. No, I don't really know him like that. I know who he is, and I've met him a couple times, but I wouldn't say that I know him. How can a square handle multiple women without getting annoyed? Your guess is as good as mine, man. But I would say they'd have to have a lot of patience, Slim. For real. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. As always, I appreciate y'all, for everything. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Once again, before y'all leave, if you didn't wipe your feet at the door stepping in, wipe your feet stepping out. You know what I mean? Hit that thumbs up button if you have not already. And put some love in your body if you have not already. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate all of y'all's comments and questions and feedback and engagements. I appreciate all the likes. I even appreciate the thumbs down if you gave me a thumbs down. You dig? I appreciate the shares. I appreciate the subscriptions. I appreciate you hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate y'all supporting every which way that y'all come with it, man. Best of blessings to y'all, man, and y'all be careful out there. Don't take this coronavirus shit lightly. Take care of yourselves and look out for your loved ones and check on your loved ones as well, man. If y'all out there moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And I'm gonna tap in with y'all much sooner than later. So y'all be on the lookout. Y'all know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. I holla. Be blessed.